The Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah. Hey, Jeff, what's shaking?
We are making our customers happy at Gossett Kia Mount Moriah. How about this? 2023 Kia Sorento LX all-wheel drive for just $257 per month. 36-month lease, $29.99 due at signing. And I've got a 2023 Kia Sportage LX front-wheel drive, $287 per month. 36-month lease, $34.99 due at signing.
Well, I'm feeling happy, Jeff.
And if you don't see what you want, no problem. I'll order exactly what you want, and you won't pay over MSRP at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
Plus, every Gossett Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia Mount Moriah.
2680 Mount Moriah or KiaMountMoriah.com. Celtos P738-6423, MSRP 25325, K5 950-6883, MSRP 26860, PF 695. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Kia. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 10/31/2022 with approved credit. Dealer stock only. Warranties and limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details.
Grizz Nation, don't miss your Grizzlies tonight at 7 p.m. as they take on Kevin Durant and the Brooklyn Nets on Memphis Hustle Night. Arrive early. First 3,000 fans receive a Hustle schedule magnet. Get your tickets today by calling 901-888-HOOP or visiting Grizzlies.com.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
And Barnes hits one high. Hits it deep. It is out of here. Morant. Oh! A jawbreaker.
It's time to get up and get your day started. It's Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown! Unbelievable!
Here are your hosts, Greg and Eli.
That's right, a new week has arrived. Happy Monday, everybody. Hope your day, your week is off to a good start so far on this early Monday morning. It's good to have you with us here on Sports 56 Mornings. I am Eli Savoy here in the Family Leisure Studios. Zach Boyd is here producing the program as well. Greg is off for the next few days. He'll be back later in the week. But we've got plenty of stuff that we are going to be getting into today, as it was a tremendously busy weekend in sports when you got all of the sports going on, everything in the world. You had a little bit of college basketball with the Tigers taking the court for the first time in an exhibition game. You had, of course, all kinds of college football. You've got NFL football, NBA basketball, Major League Baseball, everything in the sports world going on this past weekend, and we will get into it all as it was very busy on the local scene with all of the teams in action, and some good, some bad from the various local teams in the various sports over the weekend. We are in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. That is Family Leisure. Their Relax at Home sale going on right now. Relax at a new massage chair or catch the game in a brand new home theater set. Deals on pool tables, shuffleboards. You can get all kinds of great stuff and have a lot of fun by just even going into Family Leisure, checking out all the great things they've got going on. Go by and see them. They're at 2120 Whitten Road. That's just north of I-40. Going to be a nice day after really warm temperatures yesterday. Much of the same, not quite 80 degrees, but pretty close to it. Might even touch 80 today. But for the most part, mostly sunny skies, highs right around 80 degrees. So it should be a nice Monday for everybody out there as far as the weather is concerned. There is some rain in the forecast for tomorrow and maybe later in the week as well. But we're going to have another nice week for the most part, it looks like, with a lot of sunshine, temperatures in the 60s and 70s. And again, today, getting up near 80 degrees. Well, in college football over the weekend, the Tigers lose again. They took a different route this time. Instead of getting the big lead and then blowing it, they decided to try the opposite. They spotted Tulane a massive lead and then tried to come back and almost came all the way back, but dug themselves too big of a hole. We will get into what is wrong with the Tigers right now and where is this thing headed. Ole Miss falls from the ranks of the undefeated. I was completely wrong on that one. It looked good early in the game for Ole Miss, but then LSU just absolutely dominating the second half of that game. And Jaden Daniels, the guy that I said I did not have a whole lot of faith in, Jaden Daniels was awesome once again. And LSU is sneakily playing some really good football right now in the SEC. So Ole Miss suffers their first loss. Once again, Mike Leach versus Nick Saban in Alabama does not go well. Mike Leach's offense, he has been Mississippi State, just has not been able to score against Alabama. And once again, Mississippi State falls to the Crimson Tide. I was in Clemson for what turned out to be a great game between two undefeated teams. Clemson and Syracuse had a great time there. Clemson pulling out the narrow win to stay undefeated and keep their path to the playoff intact. And you look at the remaining schedule of Clemson, even though I don't think that's by any means a great team, it's getting harder to see them losing a game. And so it seems like a fairly easy path for Clemson to get into the playoff, although there could be a stumble in front of them. TCU remains undefeated as they get a big win. UCLA no longer undefeated as they suffer their first loss of the year. And Oregon, despite that blowout loss to start the year against Georgia, has put themselves right back into playoff contention. And don't look now, but Bo Nix is playing some great football for the Ducks. Meanwhile, the Grizzlies, they had a back-to-back set down in Texas with Houston and Dallas. Ja Morant was unbelievable on Friday night doing his virtuoso performance, but then Saturday was just one of those nights for the Grizzlies. It did not go well at all against the Mavericks. Mentioned the Tigers on the court for the first time with two exhibition games yesterday. They took on CBU. They will take on Lane coming up next Sunday. And the Tigers, it wasn't pretty, but that's why they're playing exhibitions, just kind of working out the kinks. And they do get the win, but it's a lot of the concerns that people have showed yesterday in the exhibition game. The World Series is set. The championship series in each league lacked for drama for the most part. A 4-1 win for one and a sweep in the other, as the World Series will get underway on Friday between Greg's Phillies and the Houston Astros. And in the NFL, the weirdness just continues as Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers can't figure out how to win a game despite going against Taylor Heineke and P.J. Walker. You've got just weird stuff going on in the NFL on a weekly basis, teams that just can't score at all. And a lot of unders continue to hit, and a lot of quarterbacks continue to struggle. So there is so much stuff to get into on this edition of Sports 56 Mornings. Zach Boyd, did you have a good weekend, sir?
Yes, I did.
That's good. Did you do much?
No.
As I mentioned, I went to Clemson.
How was Death Valley, by the way?
Dude, it was awesome. It was, I love going to, when you get to go to these, like the big time places. Obviously the SEC schools, that's going to be the case on pretty much any one of those. Clemson fits that bill, obviously big time. And then, when we planned this trip and we're thinking, okay, they're going to play Syracuse. We're like, okay, whatever. And then all of a sudden Syracuse has the great start to the year and they're undefeated coming in. So now it becomes this big game. And then Syracuse jumps out to the big lead on them. The atmosphere was awesome. I mean, the place was full. It was getting loud when they started coming back in the second half. It was crazy. And then when they got the interception at the end that sealed the game, it was cool. But seeing the entrance, the whole thing coming down the hill, all of that stuff, it was a lot of fun. It lived up to what I had hoped it would be, thinking, all right, this is Clemson. Like, this is one of the best programs in America, has been now for quite some time. These fans love it, everything else. It is the thing in town. It's, that's what's great about these towns when you go, like where literally the school is the thing. Like everywhere you go, and it was homecomings. Obviously, there's a lot of people back in town, alumni also, but like everywhere you go around there, like it is everybody's wearing Clemson gear. Like you go to the grocery store, like seems like everybody in the store has on Clemson gear. It just like the entire place is there. Everybody is there for one reason, and that is for Clemson football. But the tailgating was a lot of fun. Had a great time tailgating. Got to go check out the campus because a friend's daughter goes there. That's why we went and visited him. Actually, Dennis O'Connor, who's been on the program many times for the Grizzly, his daughter goes there, so we went to visit her, and we got to check out the campus. Beautiful campus, everything else, really cool setup. It was awesome, but the atmosphere in the game was just incredible. The fact that it turned out to be such a great game helped that. But man, oh man, it was raucous at the end when they intercepted the pass there at the end of that game to seal the victory. That place went bonkers. It was so loud, and it was. You know what surprises me though?
What's that?
I'm really surprised, and I don't know why, but just because you figure the SEC's doing it, all these other programs would want to do it. They don't sell beer in the stadium.
Wait, really?
They're just giving up that money. I don't know why. Like, I don't know. I don't even know what the ACC's rules are. I don't know. I don't know if you. I assume you can. Once all these SEC schools started doing, and the SEC said it was okay, I just assumed all of these big programs would go, wait a second, like we have 80,000 people in a stadium. Why would we not just sell beer and make another $1 million or $2 million every game off of that? But they don't. They do not sell beer in the stadium at Clemson. So they're just they don't want that money apparently. But nonetheless, it's and then the other thing too. This happened both at LSU and Clemson this weekend. The rushing of the field for what some people will claim is not a big enough win for these programs. Like, can we just quit judging like whether what's big enough to rush the field or not rush the field? Like LSU beat Ole Miss. Now, yes, you could say, oh, LSU is supposed to be a program like, but the bottom line is Ole Miss was undefeated at a top 10 team. So I don't have a problem with them rushing the field. They just beat a top 10 team.
No,
Let's have some fun.
It's warranted.
Clemson, yes. Is Clemson a better program than Syracuse? Yes. Should they beat Syracuse? Well, they were a 2-touchdown favorite. But Syracuse was undefeated. Like, this game was massive. This was a huge game. And especially in the way that it unfolded, coming back from the deficit, everything else, I don't have a problem if you want to rush the field. First of all, I don't know who's like the police of when you can rush and when you can't rush. But to me, if you're beating a team that's undefeated and ranked in the top 10, I don't care what program you are. Like that, to me, that is okay to rush the field. Let's be honest. I mean, most of these students are just looking for a reason to rush the field. Like they're searching for a reason to rush the field. They go in wanting to rush the field. Like that's their thing. Like that they want to do that. So they're not going to be like, oh, no, we're too good of a program to rush for beating these guys. Yeah, like if you beat a team that's 2-4, no, like that's really not worth rushing the field. You beat an undefeated team who is ranked in the top 10. I don't care what program you are. That's, to me, fine to rush the field. If Alabama beat an undefeated team ranked in the top 10, okay. I don't care if you're number 1, number 2, number 3, and you're supposed to win the game. So what? Like, it's a big win. Same thing with Georgia. Like, if you get a big win, I'm okay with you rushing the field. So just leave LSU and leave Clemson alone. Who cares? They rush the field. They'll get their fine, and they'll move on.
I have a quote here from Radakovich, the AD for Clemson. Because when you brought up the beer selling, I was like, wait, that doesn't make any sense. They're usually in most institutions they sell beer at the
we've moved along. We've changed those rules and said, yeah, you know what, it's dumb. Like you guys can do this.
So here's a quote from him that said about the issue itself. He said that it hasn't been a huge topic here because we really don't look at that as something moving forward inside Memorial Stadium. That is on our list of things to get done. There's a different atmosphere at our games.
Again, like and it was fine. Like obviously there are people, and I don't think it is. It's just weird to me because it's a lot of money. I mean, these SEC schools, when you're constantly having 70, 80,000 people at your games, like you can make a lot of money by doing that. You can, by selling alcohol at the game, you can make a whole bunch of money. So, and it's kind of like the whole thing with Clemson. I was just surprised because I'm like, they see that the SEC is doing it. And they want to keep up with the SEC in every way. So you're like, oh, wait a second. These guys are making millions of dollars off selling alcohol. We need to do that to make sure we make millions of dollars too. But no, it's not a big deal. It was just a little surprising to me that they don't do that. Again, just because they kind of the idea of keeping up with the SEC. But it was a great time. I thoroughly enjoyed Clemson. It was a blast. And speaking of that, if you look at Clemson now, they remain undefeated. Again, I don't think it's a great. And Cade Klubnik, the hot shot recruit, comes in the game. It was because DJ Uiagalelei was getting booed. Like it especially, he had the fumble that was returned 90 yards for a touchdown. He had thrown the early interception, but the second interception he threw was a terrible throw. And at that point, like you could feel in that stadium, the entire crowd had kind of turned against DJ at that point. And Dabo, I think, had to feel that. And so they went to Cade Klubnik. And Cade Klubnik didn't do anything, like, other than hand off. They finally realized, let's just give the ball to Will Shipley and see if we can win the game that way. I mean, Cade Klubnik came in and threw 4 passes. So they, people will say, oh, Klubnik rallied them to the win. Cade Klubnik handed off. Like, that's all he did. Like, he just handed the ball off. They didn't ask him to do much. He just handed the ball off, ran once in a while himself. They weren't going to let him throw too many passes. Got lucky on
the Cooper Rush of Clemson.
Yes, it was very much like that. He got one. They got lucky on the late hit out of bounds, which I thought was questionable whether that should have been called, but that kept a drive alive. They go down, they score the touchdown, they end up winning the game. But the question everybody there asking after the game was, all right, do you stick now with Klubnik? Do you go back to Uiagalelei? What is Dabo going to do? But Dabo made it clear afterwards, DJ is our starter. DJ is our leader. So apparently this was just hey, he's playing tough. He's not having a good day. We're going to go with Klubnik to try and win this game. But they still believe in Uiagalelei. I tell you, the fans, for the most part, don't seem to believe in Uiagalelei. Like they're all like chomping at the bit for Cade Klubnik to be the quarterback of that team. Like, that's just the feeling you get. And especially, again, I'm at the one game where DJ did not play well at all. And again, that second interception was terrible. Like, that's just a bad throw. But it was just weird to wait in the stadium. You could just feel it. And then Klubnik starts throwing on the sideline, and you can tell the people in the stadium are recognizing it. Like, it kind of like, it makes its way through the stadium that, wait, look at Klubnik's warming up on the sideline. He must be coming into the game. And so everybody then got real excited about that. And again, he didn't do much, but they did earn the win with him in there at quarterback. But according to Dabo, DJ Uiagalelei will still be the starter. I thought maybe I had seen the start of the Klubnik era, but apparently I did not see the start of the Klubnik era. So that was one set of Tigers, the game that I was at. Another set of Tigers, the Memphis Tigers, did not have it so good.
No.
At Tulane, down 35-0 at halftime. I checked the score of the game. We were done after our game. Or I guess it was, our game's over because we had the 11 a.m. Central Time game. Game gets over. We're out in the parking lot. We're kind of hanging around, waiting for stuff to clear out before we try and leave. And I'm like, oh, that's right. The Eastern time zone screws me up so much. I can't figure out what time it is. It's so bizarre that games start at noon and NFL games start at 1 o'clock there. I don't know what's going on. But I'm like, oh, wait a second. This is actually now Memphis is playing. And I checked the score. And at that point, it was 21-0. And I'm like, what in the world is going on? I mean, this game just started, it seemed like, and now it's 21-0. Then I check again, and it's 35-0 at halftime. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, are they gonna lose like 55-3, or is this just gonna get completely ugly? I do give them credit. They did rally. They ended up losing 38-28. It would have been very easy at 35-0 at the half for them to just quit, basically, and end up losing by 50 at Tulane. But I do give them credit for battling back. But you can't be down 35-0 at the half. This is a pretty good Tulane team. It's not a 35-0 halftime Tulane team. Like, it's, I just don't. I don't know. I did not have a good feel. I did not think they would win the game. I said that last week. It feels like they are on their way to a 4-game losing streak. Now, UCF, the next opponent, after putting 70 on Temple, comes back and loses to East Carolina. I don't even know for sure what UCF is. But after the two demoralizing blown leads, it kind of felt like, okay, Tulane on the road, going to be really difficult. They are playing extremely well. They're undefeated in conference play still. They got a really good defense. But I didn't expect 35-0 at half. Like, that just never crossed my mind. And now they do get a week off before UCF comes to town. But I don't know. I'm not sure what the issues are. I've talked a lot about this with various people, it seems like, over the weekend, and people were, where are you from? Memphis, start talking about Memphis, all this stuff. Here's the thing, because I know a lot of people don't like Ryan Silverfield, and they look at where the program is now, where they feel it's headed. And there's a lot of people out there that I know that believe just like he was just given the job and they should have done more of a search and all of these things. They are recruiting seemingly better than they have ever recruited. Like, the recruiting classes are ranked higher. But here's the thing that you look at this team compared to what they've had under Fuente/Norvell. Their recruiting classes may not have been ranked that as high as these, but those groups, those teams, all had basically at least one elite offensive player. I mean, you went from Anthony Miller through all the running backs.
Yeah.
Calvin Austin, like, these are all NFL guys. Like, you just, every one of these teams had an NFL guy at a skill position. And most of those were lucky hits. Like, they weren't a 4-star recruit. Like, Anthony Miller's a walk-on. Like, these guys, like, it's walk-ons or guys that weren't really highly ranked, but they developed into studs, like elite college players who are in the NFL producing, most of them in the NFL producing at the NFL level. That's how good they were. I mean, this team, they just don't have that. There isn't that guy. You know, the receivers, I mean, Javon Ivory's a fine receiver. He's not an NFL-like guy that you go, oh my gosh, look at that dude. Like, they don't, the running backs, Brandon Thomas, Jay Decker, like, they're all okay, but you don't have a Darrell Henderson who, you know, could literally break any run for a touchdown. You just don't have these elite guys that you went through in this stretch. Again, the recruiting class as a whole may be ranked higher, but those coaches and those staffs did a great job at evaluating lesser-ranked recruits, getting them in, and developing them into great players. This isn't. I don't know what if you're Ryan Silverfield, you're trying to recruit the best players, and again, he's getting recruiting classes that are better than any other recruiting class the school's ever had. So is it a problem with the development of the players, or do they have to do a better job in recognizing maybe some lesser guys who can play at this level? I don't know what it is. But we've talked many times about this. In the new American Athletic Conference next year, once UCF is gone and Houston is gone and Cincinnati is gone, if you're stuck in this conference, which it appears that the Tigers are stuck in this conference for quite some time, you need to become the dominant force of the conference. But you've now lost to East Carolina 2 straight years. They're still going to be in the conference. And now Tulane was up 35-0 at the half. And yes, the final score looks way more respectable. You did a great job coming back and battling and didn't give up. And it's 38-20. But Tulane's back in the conference. So 2 of the teams that are going to be still in the conference, you've lost to. One of those back-to-back years. it's concerning because if you become a middle of the pack team in the new American Athletic Conference, well, then this program is back to where it basically was in the Conference USA days, and like even kind of the Tommy West, like, yeah, you can get your 6 wins and go to a bowl, but like, who really cares if you're going 7-5 in what's going to be left of this conference? I mean, we already see it's tough to draw fans. I mean, they got their 20, 25,000, whatever. But if you're just a team that's finishing 3rd, 4th, 5th in this new American Athletic Conference, it's going to be really, really hard to sell tickets.
Have you been keeping up with the the fan rumors of like who they want as their new coach?
Well, I mean, I know I see like Deion Sanders. People are like posting things about Deion Sanders. I know Hugh Freeze, who got another win at Liberty. Like these, to me, there's no way Ryan Silverfield's getting fired after this season. Like I don't see any way that's happening.
If Silverfield goes to the bowl again this year, he's not getting fired.
Literally, if they lost the rest of the games, if they ended the season, what would that be, a 7-game losing streak or whatever? Okay, maybe. Like it turns into just a disaster. I mean, because that would obviously include a loss to North Alabama. Like that it would be. Even if he beats North Alabama, loses the rest, and they end up with 5 wins, maybe. But I just don't think that's. Now, going into next year, a lot of pressure. Yeah, maybe, probably. If you're 6-6, even 7-5, there'll be some pressure going into. But I don't see any chance in the world, barring a complete meltdown the rest of the way, that he gets fired after this year. So like these ideas of like that part of it, to me, I just don't believe it's going to happen. I don't think they don't want to. It's hard. I guess if some booster stepped up and said they wanted him gone and was willing to pay for it, okay. It's not a ton of money by college football standards to get rid of him. But for the University of Memphis, it's a lot of money. So the idea of him being gone, now again, going into next year, there needs to be some improvement. One of the things, obviously, in the world of transfer portal, you have to take advantage. Memphis hasn't had great success in the transfer portal. When they've gone out and gotten these guys in the transfer portal that it seems like they're expecting to become big-time contributors, it just isn't happening. A couple years ago, they got the 2 guys from Michigan State. This year, Jay Ducker was freshman of the year in the MAC. He was going to come in and make a big impact. He hasn't done that. Like, there are people that they've gotten out of the transfer portal haven't really paid off the way you would expect when you're going to get guys from the Power Fives and other. Now, they've had some success, but for the most part, it seems like the guys that they went and got out of the transfer portal have not developed into what they thought they would be when they got them. But I mean, this program cannot afford to become a middle-of-the-pack team in a bad AAC once these teams leave. And right now, again, you're losing to Tulane. You're losing to East Carolina. It's not looking good. So if you've got thoughts on the Tigers, the Sport 56 listener line, 901-360-8255. You can either call or text, and we will get to those when we come back. Again, they put up a good fight in the second half, but they're down 35-0 at the half to Tulane. That's inexcusable. There's no way this team should be down 35-0 to Tulane at the half. Losing to Tulane on the road, not embarrassing. Being down 35-0 at the half to any team really in this conference, that's just inexcusable. So if you've got thoughts on the Tigers, Sports 56 listener lines are open. 901-360-8255. 901-360-8255. We'll talk more about the Tigers, get into more of college football as well. SEC, Ole Miss no longer undefeated. LSU playing really, really well and has a chance. Could Brian Kelly win the West in his first year at LSU? That would be one hell of a feat, but they're playing really well right now. And Jaden Daniels, again, I give him a lot of respect. That was a really impressive performance. What they did in the second half of that game to Ole Miss was incredible. We continue more of Sports 56 Mornings right after this here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey everybody, how great are fall trips in a new truck or SUV? I'm out here at Olive Branch checking out Chevrolet's truck season at All Star Chevrolet. Find what you want, and if you don't find it, order what you want. A new Silverado High Country or Crew Cab, Blazer, Traverse, how about a new 2023 Camaro convertible? Or how about a new Equinox with 1.9 financing, because your good credit deserves it. All Star is famous for their certified and pre-owned selections, Ram Laramies and Bighorn, Mustangs, Grand Caravans, Suburbans, Tahoes, they got it all. Kevin and Jeff asked me to give a big shout out to all of you that brought your great pre-owned cars and trucks to them to purchase. If you have a car or truck you want to sell today, bring it to Olive Branch and get a check for some crazy good money, even if you owe money on it. And don't wait for service. Gary, here at All Star, is your guy. Remember, it's not the Pike, not South Haven, not Mount Moriah, Bartlett, or Collierville. Find new roads to All Star Chevy and Olive Branch or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. In these uncertain economic times, there are so many things as a contractor and a business owner that I cannot control. The rising cost of materials, not to mention fuel and transportation costs. In the last 2 years, shingle prices have almost doubled and commercial materials have doubled. And I don't have to tell you what fuel costs these days. But you know what I can control? How much markup I put on a project. I have always prided myself in knowing I never gouge a customer. But in an effort to ensure my crews have work and my customers are being treated fairly, I have lowered my profit margin, hoping to give you a price you can live with and keeping my crews busy. So if you need a roof or gutters, please give us a call. Five Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. Five Ash Roofing, a proud sponsor of Tiger Athletics and a member of the Tigers home team. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Golfers, tee it up this fall at Edwin Watts Golf Shops for big savings. Save up to $150 off on Ping G425 woods. Upgrade your gear with discounted Wilson stand and cart golf bags. And stock up on TaylorMade Distance Plus golf balls, now 2 dozen for $35. Don't miss these items and more happening now at Edwin Watts Golf Shops and get a free custom fitting today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, or shop us online at worldwidegolfshops.com.
Football season is underway, so now is the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Because right now, new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's free bets back. If your first bet doesn't win, just sign up with the promo code WIN. FanDuel has all your favorite bets from the money line to point spreads to player props. So sign up today with promo code WIN for your no-sweat first bet. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL.
Must be present in state where lawful to wager. 21 plus in select states. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit fanduel.com/RG. Colorado, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Virginia. 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342. Arizona 1-800-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat. Connecticut 1-800-9-WITH-IT. Indiana, Kansas 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com. Louisiana 1-877-770-STOP. New York 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. Tennessee Redline 1-800-889-9789. Wyoming, West Virginia 1-800-522-4700 or visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net.
I'm John Conway with Conway Services. Make sure your HVAC system is ready for the weather ahead by scheduling a $69 heating or cooling system tune-up with Conway Services today. Act now, and we'll give you a voucher for a free heating or cooling system tune-up to share with a friend or family member.
License number is 64210, 64365, EAS MS 19668.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
One of our longtime sponsors on Sports 56 Mornings, the great folks at Town Village Audubon Park, 950 Cherry Road, just off Park Avenue in the heart of East Memphis. Senior living in today's world, offering more options to fit your needs more than ever before. They are dedicated to the long-term satisfaction and the quality of life for their residents. You can give them a call at 901-537-0002. Set up a tour or go online to townvillageaudubonpark.com to find out more information. Independent living, short-term respite stay, monthly options available, great event schedule with activities galore, amazing food, indoor and outdoor maintenance, 24-hour mobile emergency call system, scheduled local transportation. The amenities go on and on and on. All they ask is that you're 55 years of age or over. Everything you need to continue to enjoy life to its fullest. It's Town Village Audubon Park, 950 Cherry Road, just off Park Avenue in East Memphis.
Sports 56 traffic.
We got a couple of new accidents on the roadways. Accident on Sycamore View at Raleigh-LaGrange. Highway 385 between US 72 and Byhalia. They have closed that off for accident there. Accident on Yale Road at Old Brownsville Road. And then accident on Union at Marshall. Keep it right here. This is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Good morning.
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back. Sports 56 Mornings just getting rolling on this Monday, October the 24th. 1 week from Halloween. We're almost into November. What is this year? What is this? Time just flies anymore. We're here at the Family Leisure Studio. Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with you. Greg will be back later in the week talking about the Memphis Tigers' third straight loss. And again, this time they decided they would fall behind big early and see if they could do the whole comeback thing. It almost worked, but just a little too big of a hole at 35-0 in halftime. They end up falling 38-28 at Tulane. They've got the week off this week before they get back to action hosting UCF a week from Saturday. Seth Hennigan, 2 more interceptions. Seth Hennigan's thrown 4 interceptions down the last 2 games. That's one thing that you could count on from Seth over the first year and a half, really, was that he just didn't turn the ball over. And now 4 interceptions in the last 2 games. 4 turnovers all overall in this game, and another kick return touchdown, this time a punt. You know, you had the problems against Houston with the kickoff return for the touchdown, not recovering the onside kick. Now a 90-yard punt return touchdown. The kickers themselves have been good. But overall, the special teams have been a problem in kick coverage for the Tigers. They got to try and regroup. And if you want to talk some Tigers, you can. 901-360-8255. 901-360-8255. Here on the Sports 56 listener line, Drew texts in, says, fire Silverfield at the end of the year and hire Kenny Dillingham. I know a lot of people like Kenny Dillingham, and Kenny Dillingham is doing a great job at Oregon as the offensive coordinator. He's got Bo Nix playing some incredible football. You know, he was at Auburn, then went and joined Mike Norvell at Florida State, then went with Dan Lanning up to Oregon. When Kenny Dillingham was at Memphis, he was considered one of the really big rising stars of college football. He was so young when Mike Norvell had him here. He has done a great job. Certainly, I think he has a bright future as a head coach somewhere. The thing about that is, there are a lot of people here, a lot of folks who really when Mike Norvell left, it wasn't Dillingham. It's actually the head coach at Oregon, Dan Lanning, was the guy that a lot of people wanted. And Dan Lanning deserves the credit. You know, when we talk about that elite talent that the Tigers had here, Dan Lanning deserves some credit for some of those guys. He was one of the guys that went out and recruited some of those and was, from people I talked to, really good at recognizing and projecting talent. And now, obviously, he's got Oregon in playoff contention. Yes, Kenny Dillingham is offensive coordinator, doing a great job. Again, I don't see Silverfield being fired after this year. I would be really surprised if something happened after this year, unless
with 2 brand new coordinators as well.
Yeah, I mean, again, unless it turned into just an utter disaster the rest of the way. You know, even if that game had gone from 35-0 to 55-3, okay, but they fought back. I could give them credit. And the fight, it doesn't look quite as bad. 38-28, you do all that stuff. But yeah, if you'd have lost 55-3 at Tulane, then I think it might have been a little bit different. Again, we'll see what happens. Tulsa certainly is a winnable game. North Alabama, you obviously have to win that. UCF is going to be difficult. Although, I don't know what UCF is. They put up 70 on Temple and a good defense, and then they come back and they lose to ECU and only put up 13 points. And John Rice Plumlee throws 3 interceptions. So I don't know. I'm not sure. Guys, I guess it kind of depends what UCF team shows up here. But they have the ability to be really good offensively. Another texter here says the teams before Silverfield had bona fide threats in every aspect: kickoff, punt return, running backs, wide receivers, quarterback. You always felt confident that they would score however they got the ball. With this team, you don't even feel like they'll get a first down on a consistent basis. Go Tigers, go still. Yeah, again, I mean, you're talking, just think of the NFL talent they ran through. I mean, when you start going through the running backs of Henderson and Pollard and Gainwell and Gibson and Patrick Taylor, who are guys in the NFL right now. There's very few Power 5 teams that are ever going to have a run of players like that. You throw in Anthony Miller, you throw in Calvin Austin III. They had elite players, or they got elite production. Again, it wasn't that they went and recruited an elite. They didn't get what they thought, they didn't go get some 5-star guy that everybody's like, oh my God, this guy's going to be unbelievable. They went and got guys who were under-recruited. They weren't the 4- and 5-star guys, 2- or 3-star guys like Anthony Miller, walk on, and they developed them into great players, into NFL players. If you've got that type of talent on your offense, you're going to be good at this level. This team doesn't have those guys. It doesn't appear. I don't know who. I mean, Seth Hennigan certainly is a good quarterback in just his second year. He's been good, but he doesn't have nearly the weapons that they've had in the past. I don't think there's a skill position guy, like a receiver or running back, that's going to be in the NFL. Maybe somebody gets a chance and sneaks their way onto a practice squad or whatever, but there's just not that talent there right now that they had in years past. Keith is dialed in. What's up, Keith?
Hey, yeah.
Keith, you got a bad connection. Try calling us back, or get a better connection there. Another texter says Tulane didn't even have to score any more points to win the game. They scored only 3 points the entire second half and still won by 10. They also, is it me or did it look like on the 4th and 2 just before halftime with only about 90 seconds left, Tulane gave the ball to the running back and he actually waited to get tackled, but no one on defense even touched him until he got the first down, which led to the last and final touchdown for Tulane, which ended up being the game. Tulane wasn't even trying to score a touchdown on that drive. So disappointing. Well, I think they were trying to score, but at 28-0, you're kind of like, they were fine. They were fine if they didn't score. They get that final touchdown with 25 seconds to go and a half. Yeah, I mean, they were okay if they didn't score a touchdown. They weren't going to do something stupid on that drive, but no, again, that offense isn't that good. That offense isn't 35 points and a half good. Pratt's a fine quarterback. Spears is a fine running back. He's killed the Tigers 2 years in a row. He's got 360 yards against the Tigers in 2 games. That's not a 35-point and a half offense. Joe's up. What's up, Joe?
Hey, Eli.
How you doing, man?
Just want to talk. I'm doing well. Just wanted to talk about just big scope Tigers. I mean, if our goal is to be great, which we were from, with a year or two of 8-4, 8-5, from 2015 to 2019, we had 2 or 3 great years. The margins are so thin. You have to be able to win these close games. Like you think Tulane, if you watched them last year, they were 2-10, but in a lot of games could have easily been 6-6, 7-5. Mm-hmm. Take the Tigers in 2017 when we could have gone to the Peach Bowl had we beaten UCF. We had that big comeback on the road against Houston. 2019 when we went to the Cotton Bowl, it took a 29-yard missed field goal by Tulsa. So you have to be able to win these close games. I think Ryan's proven he gets out schemed in the second half pretty consistently. I think as a Tigers fan, you know, if this was 2008, you know, under Tommy West, when you're going 6-6, 7-6, you're just happy to be in a bowl game. But I think where this program's trying to head, this is not acceptable. So I think it's taken a while for me, but I think I've finally reached that point where we do need to move on, and we need to go out and get either a hot young coordinator or somebody like, I don't know, Steph Littrell at North Texas, or someone that's proven themselves on a smaller level the past few years. So I'm ready to move on as a fan.
All right, thanks, Joe.
All right,
Appreciate
thanks.
it. And that's the thing, like, and Joe brings up the point, like, the standards for this program have changed. And that in some ways, that may not be fair necessarily to Ryan Silverfield. You know, what the seasons that Ryan Silverfield had even last year and now this year, we'll see where it ends up, but, you know, 4-4. Like, it's what D'Angelo Williams talked about the other night at the Memphis Sports Hall of Fame. That you forget that in years past, like, this would be great. Like, you're 4-4, you're like, okay. But that's just the bottom line. The standards have changed for this program. They've invested a lot more in this program. So more is to be expected. It's shown that it can be successful. It's shown that it can be at the top of the group of 5. So that is now the expectation. In losing to Tulane and East Carolina, not that East Carolina or Tulane's a bad program, like, they're fine, but this program wants to be and feels it can be the best, the dominant program in the American Athletic Conference, especially once these other teams leave. But right now, they're not on track because they are behind programs that are going to be staying in the conference. So, yeah, the standards have changed. And that whether that's fair to Ryan Silverfield or not, more is now expected. 6-6, yes, used to be a lot of fun. Going to a bowl game, that was awesome when you didn't do it forever. Now 6-6, not so much fun. Not when you've experienced the 10-win seasons. Not when you've experienced the Cotton Bowl. Not when you know what's possible within the program. 6-6 no longer is cool. 7-5, not that cool. And again, especially once the new conference is here. Let's see if Keith has a better connection now. What's up, Keith?
Hey, I'm sorry, Eli.
No problem.
Connection. Well, the loss to East Carolina is not looking as bad. Now, I watched that East Carolina. The American better. They may win the American.
Yeah, again, it's a good program. They've had great fan support. It's a good program, but Memphis wants to believe it is ahead of East Carolina. Well, now they've lost 2 straight years to them, so they are not ahead of East Carolina.
Oh no, and I'm not. I'm not taking. I'm getting off the Silverfield bandwagon. I'm like the previous caller. I'm getting off of that. But our offensive line is still hurting. We got a good quarterback, but those 2 picks killed us. I mean, they scored, I think, on both those picks. I think they did. I think Tulane scored on both picks.
Yes, I believe so, if I remember correctly. I know they did on the one, and I can't remember the second one. I'm trying to think because I wasn't watching the game, but I was kind of tracking it. But yeah, I mean, yeah, again, and that's one thing that Hennigan, you had counted on. He wouldn't turn the ball over, but now in 2 weeks, he's got 4 interceptions.
Yeah, and see, that goes back to the rushing game, too. See, and I don't know whether to blame. I think we got good running backs, but I don't know. I think the offensive line is just, I don't know. It's either the coach or the players. I don't know. But it's just disheartening. That's all I can say.
Thanks, Keith. Well, that's the thing, too. Like, the offensive line certainly is not real good. That's Ryan Silverfield's bread and butter. Like, that's his background is offensive line. So you would expect that the offensive line, that's where you should be strong. How much of it is offensive line? And how much did, again, when you go back, the elite talent that they had, how much did maybe that mask? If you had an elite talent like that at running back, does that mask some of the issues with the offensive line? When you've got a Darrell Henderson or you've got Kenneth Gainwell or Tony Pollard, it doesn't take much. Like, these guys can make one guy miss or 2 guys miss and then be gone. The group they have now don't really have that ability. Let's get in Mario here before the break. What's up, Mario?
Hey, what's up, Eli?
How you doing, man?
Man, this is unacceptable. 35-0 ahead to Tulane. We weren't down 35-0 to Mississippi State at Starkville.
They were not.
This
correct.
is unacceptable, and I don't blame Steph Hennigan for none of this that's going on. I don't care if he did throw a couple of interceptions. He has nothing to work with. He has to force the ball sometime to try to make something happen, and then he was the leading rusher again. How many games this year has Steph Hennigan been the leading rusher for the football team? That can't happen.
If they didn't count the sacks against the rushing yardage, I think that'd be like 4 straight games where he leads them in rushing on the season. Like if you eliminate the sack negative yardage, he is their leading rusher.
And that's crazy. And no disrespect to D'Angelo Williams. Yeah, our expectations are higher now. That's just like with Penny and the basketball team. Okay, we won the NIT last year, but once we got a taste of the NCAA tournament this year for that team, then now going to the NIT would be unacceptable. No more NIT. So Ryan Silverfield, I blame him for a lot of this. And it's nothing to work with on that team for Seth Hennigan. So something's got to happen. Something's got to change. But I'm not calling for his job. But, hey, something's got to happen. Have a good one, Eli.
Thanks, Mario. It's a tough situation. I know there's a lot of frustration, and we'll see what the crowd is like for that UCF game, but I don't expect a whole lot of people out there. I'll tell you that much. These fans get off that in a hurry. Like it could be a very small crowd for that UCF game. We'll see, because there will be a lot of people that just assume they're going to get beat and don't want to go out there and watch it. We'll come back, wrap up hour number 1. Still got a lot of other college football to get into from the weekend. Tigers basketball, Grizzlies basketball, NFL football, Major League Baseball. A lot to go here on Sports 56 Mornings. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I'm with John Vergus from the world-famous Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948.
Brett, we have catered parties all over this country and all over the world, from Singapore, Australia to Central Park and New York, but many people don't realize how much we do locally. For holiday events, office parties, tailgating, birthday parties, you can't do better than the Rendezvous. For example, you can get a cheese and sausage tray for 15 to 300 people for $3.75 a person. You can even build your own nacho bar for $10.50 per person. All you need is a minimum of 15 people. In many cases, we can arrange delivery and full-service catering. We've even made it easy to get to-go items. You can just park at our front door in the alley, put on your flashes, and we'll get you going ASAP. For all your catering items and prices, go to hogsfly.com, click on menu, and drop down to catering.
Thank you, John. The Rendezvous, Mr. Charlie Vergos' Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948 and celebrating its 75th year.
Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Choate's is offering some amazing specials for this month only. If you're considering upgrading your furnace before the cold weather comes, Choate's is offering $1,000 off a new Carrier furnace. If you don't need a new furnace, Choate's is now offering its early bird $60 furnace tune-up. This 22-point tune-up includes a free carbon monoxide test and heat exchanger inspection. And Choate's is your indoor air quality expert. For the best quality air for you and your family, it's recommended to have your air ducts cleaned every 8 years. This month only, Choate's will install a free UV light system when you get your air ducts cleaned, a $500 value. Call us at 347-8086 to take advantage of these amazing deals. So, turn to the experts with Choate's, and remember, let our family serve your family.
Ram Power Days and Jeep Adventure Days are on at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on Covington Pike. Are you ready for a new ride but can't seem to find just what you're looking for? No worries. Stop by, pick your ride, and Gossett will get it ordered just for you. No hassles, no extra charges, no market adjustments. Pay no more than MSRP at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike. Plus 22 Jeep Compass Latitude 4x4, we Gossett $419 a month. And 22 Dodge Charger SXT, we Gossett $479 a month. So drive past the rest and come to the best at Gossett on the Pike, or shop online at GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 75 months at 4.10% APR, $39.99 down. Charger NH204733, MSRP $35,485. Compass NT206592, MSRP $32,825. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF $695. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 10/31/22 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Guns and Ammo has a full line of Pro Shot products. A tremendous selection of accessories from belts, holsters, gun cases, specialty boxes, Benchmade knives, and assorted optics. At Guns and Ammo, enjoy selecting all your favorite firearms, from hunting supplies to target shooting to self-defense. Experience the excellence at Guns and Ammo with a friendly, knowledgeable staff and hundreds of guns to choose from. Guns and Ammo, 3615 Summer Avenue, Memphis local, and supporting the NRA and Friends of the NRA. Guns and Ammo, family owned since 1985.
One of the things I love about betting on the NFL is that I'm always finding new players or game props that I like. And what's cool about FanDuel Sportsbook is you can combine these props with other bets from the same game to score an even bigger payout, which is perfect for tonight's Monday Night Football game, the Bears at the Patriots. I like the Pats on the money line, Justin Fields to throw a pick, Mac Jones back from an injury, I'm assuming he's starting, also to throw a pick, and Ramondre Stevenson with an anytime touchdown for the Pats. There's no feeling like nailing a same-game parlay bet, so lock in your bet today on FanDuel Sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in free bets, win or lose. Just use promo code GASMAN. That's promo code GASMAN. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or over and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you have a gambling problem, call Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings. Good morning. On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back. Greg is off. He'll be back later in the week. Scotty on Twitter says you can fire Silverfield after the season or next year. Doesn't matter. He isn't going to get the job done. You can recruit all you want, but if you can't develop the talent, it doesn't matter. Another texter says Silverfield has had 3 years to show what he can do. Now we know. Time to go before we have no fans left. Again, I don't know how much to blame Ryan Silverfield. Certainly, again, he's recruiting, if you believe the rankings, at a higher level than anybody's recruited here. But why isn't that turning into more wins? I don't know. Again, there is 2 new coordinators this year. Did they make the wrong hires there? Special teams has been a real problem. Giving up kick return touchdowns. I don't think there's any chance, though, of him being gone after this year. I really don't believe that's something that's going to happen. But I do understand the point of there's going to be a lot of fans jumping off the old bandwagon and not showing up to games the rest of the way. You lose to UCF. Wait to see what the North Alabama game. Can't even imagine how small that crowd might end up being. David says you'd expect a former offensive line coach to be able to put together a halfway decent offensive line. Yeah, again, that's the forte of Ryan Silverfield. Raider Corey. So I'd love to have KD as the Tigers coach. I'm assuming he means Kenny Dillingham and not Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant's in town tonight. I don't think they're going to interview him for head coach. So I'm just going to assume he's.
I think he's pretty busy at this.
Yeah,
moment.
yeah. He might be that. He might be a little frustrated with Kyrie. I don't think he wants to get a football coach yet. But no, if things don't turn around, but I don't think I want a coach who won't be here long term because of any success, he'll be gone. But again, that's what your most success for the program came with coaches who built it up and then left. And that's fine. That's what this job is. Coaches who are here long term, okay. If your coach is leaving for Virginia Tech, Florida State, whatever program, that means you're having great success.
Right.
It's hard to keep granted, it makes it difficult to keep hiring that next guy and being successful again. But if you could continue to do that, that's what you have to live with. Unless you get into a Power 5, that's what this job is. It is a stepping stone job. That's bottom line.
Yeah. Because when you go back and look at Norvell's coaching staff and look at Ryan, the coaching staff that Ryan had his first 2 years dealing with COVID, like, it's not the same. Like, every single year, like, their coaching staff is getting poached by the Power 5 schools because they recognize, hey, these guys can actually, like, do their jobs really well. So you having to, like, replace assistants. I think the Tigers had, they're like, top 10, like, the last couple of years, like, in replacing assistants and coordinators. So
you can't pay assistant coaches very much here.
Yeah.
So they're going to leave when they get opportunities. But, yeah, I mean, again, look, Oregon is in playoff contention. Again, like, they got killed by Georgia to start the year, but they are playing really well. That is a former Tigers assistant who is the head coach. And, again, a lot of people would have loved to have had Dan Lanning as the head coach. Would have loved for them to hire Dan Lanning at that point. And, again, Kenny Dillingham, the offensive coordinator, who everybody's would love to have. Those are Mike Norvell assistants that have a team in playoff contention. It just, but it's hard to keep guys at this program. That's just bottom line. If you have great success here, chances are the coaches are going to move on. Hour number 2 coming up. Barrett Salee joins us to talk more college football. We'll take a look at what else happened around the country. We do still have time to get some more of your text messages and calls in on the Tigers. It is Sports 56 Mornings on this Monday. Going to be another nice day. Lots of sunshine. Up near 80 degrees once again. So hope your day is off to a good start. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back hour number 2, Sports 56 Mornings here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder. Depending on how long you've been around, you've likely known my name for 30 years. Perhaps for my 20 years as the morning show on Kix 106 as the Young and Elder Show, or my 15 years at Brian Elder Roofing. So obviously, my reputation means everything to me. One terrible customer experience could tarnish a third of a century of goodwill. My reputation for quality and strong relationships is our main focus. We're the highest certification, a platinum preferred contractor with Owens Corning. If you have a business or a commercial building, we're the highest certification for warranties with GAF and Mulehide products. We don't come at you in sales mode. If you got a problem, sometimes the solution is just to fix the problem. Call me right now. I'll come out and see you today. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Hi, fellas. Bill Russell at Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, and it's fall now. The weather's changing, the days are getting shorter, and we all are at least beginning to think about Christmas. This will be our 37th Christmas at Russell Brothers Jewelers, and I enjoy every minute of the season. I invite you to come see our wide selection of the finest jewelry in Memphis, jewelry that's guaranteed to make her happy. Diamonds and rubies, sapphires and emeralds, the most beautiful gemstones that you can imagine, and you'll find a selection of rings and earrings, bracelets and pendants that will show those gems off to their finest advantage and will put a smile on her face. With our experience, we can help you find just that perfect piece, the piece that says, I love you. For 37 years, we've offered the most stunning jewelry in Memphis, and when you couple the jewelry with our quality and beauty, our value and service, you'll be glad you joined the Russell Brothers Jewelry family. Russell Brothers Jewelers, 4646 Poplar at Perkins.
Hey, Mid-South, you want a new ride? We Gossett and Gossett Kia on the Pike. How about up to 35 MPG in the new 2023 Kia Seltos LX SUV? Only $257 a month, 36-month lease, $29.99 to its signing. And get behind the wheel for a real thrill in 2023 Kia K5 LXS sedan. We Gossett $293 a month, 36-month lease, $31.99 to its signing. If you don't see what you want, not a problem. Let Bobby J order a new ride for you today. And you won't pay over MSRP. Plus, get Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Ask for Bobby J. He'll put you in a new Kia today. Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike. Online, KiaCovingtonPike.com. If you want it, we Gossett and Gossett Motor Cars. Seltos P738 6423, MSRP 25325, K5 950 6883, MSRP 26860, PF 695. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Kia. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 10/31/2022 with approved credit. Dealer stock only. Warranties and limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details.
It's a hot summer's day. You just finished cutting the lawn. Maybe you're getting off the golf course. You need something to refresh you. I've got just what the doctor ordered. In fact, it's called Poppy's Pills. Poppy's Pilsner. That's the best, and it comes from Grind City Brewing. It's light, crisp. It is that refreshing Pilsner. They say it's ultra crushable. Remember how Taco Bell stopped selling the Mexican pizza? Everybody lost their minds? Poppy Pilsner is the only thing that can ease that broken heart. Now, that came from an eyewitness named Sarah. Some people say it's sexy. It's light, it's refreshing, it's local. And for me, well, it just doesn't get any better than that. Ultra crushable, built for speed. It's available in 6-packs or 15-packs. You just ask your favorite retailer about it. Best enjoyed ice cold. It's what the doctor ordered. It's Poppy's Pills from Grind City.
Hey, what QC Kinetics is doing for people here is terrific. Nothing short of amazing. I'm talking real lasting relief from joint pain. Hey, it's Greg Gaston. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in exciting new pain treatments with advanced regenerative medicine, non-surgical alternatives. If you're living with joint pain from injury or arthritis, don't let them tell you steroids and pain meds and surgery are your only options. QC Kinetics uses regenerative treatments that can restore and repair damaged tissue. All right, maybe you've been diagnosed with bone-on-bone arthritis and have been told you need a replacement. Call QC Kinetics now for an alternative way to deal with the pain. These amazing protocols work with pain caused by injury as well, like a torn meniscus or rotator cuff. Call QC Kinetics now. Don't delay. Don't keep living with that pain. Learn how regenerative medicine can give you your life back with no drugs and no surgery. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 901-445-1010. That's 901-445-1010. QC Kinetics. 901-445-1010.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Sports 56 traffic.
Got a lot of accidents on the roadways. Sycamore View at Riley LaGrange still working with that accident. Well, the accident has been cleared up. Highway 385 between US 72 and Byhalia, that has been closed off due to an accident this morning. Yale Road at Old Brownsville Road, Union at Marshall. New accidents on South Parkway at 3rd Street, I-55 North at I-55, the northbound lanes. Left shoulder is blocked there. Accident on American Way at Claudette Road, and then accident on Quince and Kirby. This is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Isn't it a lovely morning?
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back. It is hour number 2, Sports 56 Mornings. Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd here. Greg will be back later in the week. Looking like going to be a pretty nice day out there. Temperatures in the mid-60s, going to get up near 80 degrees. Expecting some sunshine throughout the day, although it's cloudy out there right now. Rain in the forecast for tomorrow, but today looking like it's going to be a pretty darn nice day once again. We're coming to you live from the Family Leisure Studios, where family and fun come together. That is Family Leisure, the Relax at Home sale going on right now. Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40. And, of course, this hour of the program is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Talked a lot in the hour number 1 about the Memphis Tigers losing again, falling down 35-0 at halftime to Tulane. Made a nice effort in the second half, but fall 38-28. Third straight loss, bye week this week, and then UCF coming to town in a week from Saturday. As the Tigers will try and end that losing streak if they can. We've been taking some texts and calls on the Tigers. I know, again, a lot of folks not happy with what is going on. A lot of folks want to after the head of Ryan Silverfield, but I don't see that happening after this season unless things continue to go really, really bad. Again, at 35-0, that could have been on a path to making it that, but again, the valiant effort. We got a texter, John, as a matter of fact, who texts in, says, I agree with you. I was hoping the Tigers wouldn't give up. They did not. If people are going to blame the coaches for fumbles, you have to credit the coaches for the players' toughness when things are going very badly. That's the, we had call earlier, Joe talked about how they get out schemed in the second half of these games when they've blown the big leads. Well, here they dominated the second half. Now, you could say maybe Tulane took the foot off the pedal a little bit, just made sure they weren't going to give that game away. But the Tigers, only give up 3 points in the second half. Would have been very easy to give up, down 35-0. Very easy. But they did not, and I will give them credit for that. There's no doubt about that. But, looking at UCF, who is a good team, John Rice Plumlee is a dangerous quarterback, although, again, he did not have a good day with 3 interceptions against East Carolina, and East Carolina beat them 34-13. So I don't know what to think of UCF. They put up 70 on Temple, who has a good defense, and then they're only able to put up 13 against East Carolina. East Carolina's got a good defense, too, but 13 points. That's an impressive showing by East Carolina there. Elsewhere around the world of college football, I got to tip my cap to LSU, and Jaden Daniels especially. I did not think they could stop the Ole Miss running game, and I said I didn't have a whole lot of faith in Jaden Daniels. I was completely wrong. Now, Ole Miss played without Zach Evans, which hurt the running game, but they did have Judkins, and he went for 100 yards, but they held Ole Miss to 3.2 yards per carry, 117 rushing yards, and Jaden Daniels was awesome. 248 yards, 2 touchdowns through the air, ran for 121 and 3 more touchdowns. And after Ole Miss led 17-3 early in that game, LSU outscores them 42-3 the rest of the way, 28-0 in the second half. They completely dominated the second half of that game. Both sides of the line of scrimmage. And Brian Kelly's got LSU playing really, really well. And they control their own destiny in the West. They've got 1 conference loss. They still have to play Alabama. It's not as if Alabama right now looks like some team that you go, oh my gosh, there's just no way you could beat them. Obviously, they lost to Tennessee. Could have won that game. They like the Alabama game. Alabama beats Mississippi State 30-6. But Mississippi State outgained them, which is bizarre. 293-290. That was the total yards. And yet 30-6. Mike Leach's offense against Nick Saban. The 3 games that he's played Alabama at Mississippi State, he's now scored a total of 15 points. They just cannot score against Alabama. In this one, Alabama corrected the penalty issue. They only had 3 penalties. It was actually Mississippi State that killed themselves with penalties, 10 penalties in that game for 100 yards. They also had 1 turnover. Will Rogers, 60 pass attempts, 30 for 60, 231 yards. So 60 pass attempts, only 231 yards out of them. So Alabama rolls to the win over Mississippi State. But again, that LSU game could be very, very interesting for Alabama. LSU is playing well. Brian Kelly can coach. I don't care what anybody says. Brian Kelly can coach. And he's got them playing well. They get the bye week, and then Alabama.
I just need him to be himself and not talking that Southern accent.
I'll tell you what, he beats Alabama and wins the West. They don't care what accent he's talking in. He can coach. And they're playing well. I mean, what they did to Ole Miss in the second half of that game was ridiculous. 28-0. Just absolutely. We got 42-3 after they spotted them the 17-3 lead. Then you've got Texas A&M losing to South Carolina. Texas A&M is a bad situation. If it wasn't for that contract, I firmly believe Jimbo would probably be fired after this year. But that contract, they just can't do it. I mean, even at Texas A&M, where money is really not an object, you can't be paying some guy $100. I still can't believe they gave him the new deal last offseason. For what? I have no idea. Because he went and got a great recruiting class. Well, what has that recruiting class got them? Nothing. And give credit to Shane Beamer. Shane Beamer has South Carolina ranked in the top 25. That is not a team with top 25 talent. And it's not like Spencer Rattler's been awesome. Like, it'd be different if, like, Spencer Rattler came in and was, like, the Spencer Rattler that everybody thought he was to begin with. But, like, hasn't even been that. They're finding ways to win games. Like Shane Beamer's doing a heck of a job there. Elsewhere, I mentioned I was at the Clemson-Syracuse game. Great game. Clemson gets the win there. They stay undefeated. And Dabo says that DJ Uiagalelei is still the starter, even though he was pulled from that game. And Cade Klubnik came in. And again, while the team rallied, it was not anything that Cade Klubnik did. He just handed off. He threw 4 pass attempts. Clemson the rest of the way. At Notre Dame, I guess Notre Dame is capable of putting together a good performance. I don't really expect it. They got Louisville, Miami, and South Carolina at home. Their toughest remaining game might be South Carolina, which I would have never thought I was going to say that. This is not a great Clemson team by any means. But it looks like they're probably going to go undefeated. And so if they do, they're going to be in the playoff. Ohio State rolls Iowa 54-10. Iowa 6 turnovers, 158 total yards. God bless you, Iowa fans. And we're talking about Memphis. Could you imagine having to watch that offense all the time? 158 yards, 6 turnovers. Team that can't score. That's God, I can't imagine that. Ohio State, it's going to come down, obviously, to the Michigan game for them. TCU stays undefeated. They're now 7-0, 38-28 over Kansas State. It's I don't know how good TCU really is, but they're rolling. And that offense, Sonny Dykes knows what he's doing too. He's got that offense rolling. They continue to find ways to win games. Mentioned Oregon, Bo Nix with 5 touchdowns. They knock off UCLA, hand UCLA their first loss, 45-30. And despite that drubbing they took from Georgia to start the year, Oregon is right there in playoff contention. They're playing extremely well. And give it up for Bo Nix. Credit to Bo Nix. I said I didn't trust him in a big game. Bo Nix came through. And then Oklahoma State knocks off Texas 41-34. Quinn Ewers, 3 interceptions in the game. 19 of 49 for Ewers. 3 interceptions. So it looked like maybe Texas was kind of turning that corner. You thought, well, with Ewers at quarterback, they're pretty good. Well, Oklahoma State beats them 41-34. Ewers throws 3 interceptions in that game. So if you look now at kind of where we stand as far as the playoffs, certainly at this point you expect the Ohio State-Michigan winner to be undefeated. Like, it doesn't appear there's many other stumbling blocks on those schedules. So you'd expect the winner of that one ends up undefeated and is in. We know Georgia and Tennessee have to play. The winner of that one, in all likelihood, goes to the SEC championship game undefeated, and then probably the SEC championship game doesn't even matter for them. Again, Alabama has LSU remaining. That will go a long way towards determining the West. Alabama, of course, still has Ole Miss remaining as well. Clemson just appears like they're destined to be undefeated. The question starts becoming TCU. Does undefeated TCU, undefeated out of the Big 12, does that guarantee you a spot if they're able to get there? If they're able to finish undefeated? Is that better than a one-loss, say, Tennessee that doesn't even play in the SEC championship game, or a one-loss Georgia that doesn't play in an SEC championship game? What is a one-loss Oregon if that only loss is to Georgia, but it's by 1,000,000 points? If they don't lose again. Can USC, if USC still comes back and wins the Pac-12, what's that do? Where's that put them? It's going to be interesting because you've got, of the undefeated teams, Michigan and Ohio State have to play each other. Georgia and Tennessee have to play each other. So you've got the 6 undefeateds in Georgia, Ohio State, Tennessee, Michigan, Clemson, and TCU. And we know at least 2 of those have to take a loss. So that can only leave 4 undefeated teams.
So with the committee, when they're looking at these resumes, are they keeping track of when teams take a loss? Because, like, for example, like an undefeated team, like they lose at the end of the year. Okay, cool. Like you was probably gonna lose to a better team at the end of the year. Depending on if you make it to the championship game. If you're one of these one-loss teams, like you mentioned, and you lose early in the year, like how does how does that weigh out?
For Oregon, for instance, like I think they'll listen. They've gotten a lot better than what they were to start the year. However, if you're looking at it and let's say Georgia ends up winning the SEC championship, goes undefeated, so they're the number 1 seed. And then you're looking at, okay, well, who are we going to put in at number 4? And you're comparing Oregon to some other schools. Well, do you really want to put Oregon in there when you've already seen them play Georgia and lose 49-3? Like you go, well, no, like we already saw this game. We don't need to see that game again. So that might, but I mean, Oregon might, you could make the case that, hey, they had a terrible first game, but they've obviously gotten much better. But there's no doubt losing, though, it's not so much when they lost as much like it's just how they lost. Like that's the type of team you're being compared to is Georgia. And you weren't even competitive with them, whether that happened in September or November. It's hard to overcome that when they just go bad. They weren't competitive with the team at this level. So that certainly is going to hurt them. I think, we'll get the rankings next week. So we'll get an idea of what the committee believes in these teams. Right now we don't know for sure what the committee thinks of these teams. I still don't know that TCU is going to go undefeated, although I keep thinking every week, maybe that's the week they lose. They just keep finding ways to win. If TCU loses a game, I think they'll be the committee will be kind of waiting for TCU to lose a game. But if Tennessee, Georgia play a really close game, if Ohio State, Michigan play a really close game, those losers are still very much in the conversation to take a spot. And you wonder, does a Pac-12 or does a Big 12 undefeated, could they be left out? Could TCU undefeated be left out for a one-loss team like a Michigan, like a Tennessee? I don't know. It's going to be Tennessee rolled over UT Martin. How about Jalen Hyatt, though? My God. 7 more catches, 174 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Dude is just a machine. And again, he's not their number 1. He's not even supposed to be the number 1 wide receiver. He's a number 2 guy. He's got 12 touchdown receptions now, I think. It is that offense is just putting up some massive numbers. And again, obviously they're going to do that against UT Martin. We'll see what they're going to be able to do against Georgia when we get that matchup. These next few weeks in the SEC, very interesting stuff. Alabama, LSU, and Alabama, Ole Miss coming up. Georgia, Tennessee. That November 5th weekend. Alabama, LSU, and Georgia, Tennessee. Both that weekend. That's going to determine a lot. That's going to determine a whole bunch.
TCU, they got the big game that I'm looking at is against Texas on the 12th.
Yeah, again, and Texas is capable, but again, then I watched then I see Texas what they did this week, and I'm like, maybe they aren't capable.
Yeah.
Quinn Ewers is good. He had a bad game, but he is good, and he certainly has the ability to go win a big game. Like TCU, because TCU, I don't. Again, they're undefeated. They're really, really good. I don't know that they're a great team. So you feel like they could stumble. They should have lost Oklahoma State. They pulled that one out in a miracle. But they're not a team where you go, yeah, they're clearly going to win out, even though there's not a bunch of great games on the schedule. So this is what happens if you have an SEC champ out of the West with 2 losses. Do you keep the SEC out? Well, but I guess you could, let's see. So how would that work? It'd be hard to get a team from the West in with 2 losses. Out of LSU, Alabama, Ole Miss.
Yeah.
They would all 3 have to lose again. I guess if Alabama beat LSU, Ole Miss beat Alabama, and then say Mississippi State beats Ole Miss in the Egg Bowl, they would all have 2 losses. And that's not out of the question. That could happen. A 2-loss SEC champion, it would be weird, but I want if you did have that, if you had a 2-loss SEC West team win the SEC championship game over a previously undefeated Georgia or Tennessee, could they still put in Georgia and Tennessee over the actual SEC champ? If it was Alabama, you certainly could make the case because Tennessee beat Alabama. I don't know, that would be a weird situation. And then a lot of that would depend on what happened elsewhere too. But that would be a really weird situation. But it is not technically crazy to think that all three of those teams do lose another game. We're going to talk with Barrett Saline more about this coming up. What his thoughts are from the weekend in football and as we look ahead to the possible playoff scenarios. That comes up next. Barrett Saline on the other side here on Sports 56 at 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. In these uncertain economic times, there are so many things as a contractor and a business owner that I cannot control. The rising cost of materials, not to mention fuel and transportation costs. In the last 2 years, shingle prices have almost doubled and commercial materials have doubled. And I don't have to tell you what fuel costs these days. But you know what I can control? How much markup I put on a project. I have always prided myself in knowing I never gouge a customer. But in an effort to ensure my crews have work and my customers are being treated fairly, I have lowered my profit margin, hoping to give you a price you can live with and keeping my crews busy. So if you need a roof or gutters, please give us a call. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. Fiveash Roofing, a proud sponsor of Tiger Athletics and a member of the Tigers home team. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Moving is stressful, but Black Tie Moving can take the worry out of the process. Whether you're moving across town or across country, moving your home or your office, your personal moving concierge from Black Tie Moving will work with you to design a plan that perfectly fits your budget and needs. And they're available 24/7 to answer any questions you have. Give Black Tie Moving a call at 901-316-6196 or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis to get your personal, no-obligation quote from the moving experts at Black Tie Moving.
You've heard of James Gaddis Jewelers, but have you heard what they've done lately? Everything. A tremendous selection of diamonds and jewels, gold, silver, and much more. Lots of watches, tons of custom-made jewelry, fine gemstones, bracelets, necklaces, so many choices. Romantics will love the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. James Gaddis has experts to help you with wedding and engagement rings, plus 2 repair experts for fine watches and jewelry. Layaway and financing available. James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar.
Hey Memphis, I'm Regina Moore, owner of Chef Flavors. Born and raised in the 901, I have so much pride for my city. So, my husband and I created a product Memphis can be proud of. Our award-winning spinach artichoke dip is on Walmart shelves now, and we need your help clearing the main. Let's show Walmart how Memphis come together for their own. Unlock the inner chef in you with Chef Flavors.
Hey, Mid-South, I've got Jeff Allen on the phone at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah. Hey, Jeff, what's shaking?
We are making our customers happy at Gossett Kia Mount Moriah. How about this? 2023 Kia Sorento LX all-wheel drive for just $257 per month. 36-month lease, $29.99 due at signing. And I've got a 2023 Kia Sportage LX front-wheel drive, $287 per month. 36-month lease, $34.99 due at signing.
Well, I'm feeling happy, Jeff.
And if you don't see what you want, no problem. I'll order exactly what you want, and you won't pay over MSRP at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
Plus, every Gossett Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia Mount Moriah.
2680 Mount Moriah or KiaMountMoriah.com. Seltos B738-6423, MSRP 25325, K5 950-6883, MSRP 26860, PF 695. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Kia. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 10/31/2022 with approved credit. Dealer stock only. Warranties and limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details.
There are so many ways to buy and sell houses these days. How do you choose? Well, of course, choose the right way with Chet Whitsitt. Chet has over 37 years of experience as both a broker and a sales agent. He's helped lots of people buy and sell homes, and he will help you. It's the right way, and it's that easy. Buying, selling, or referrals, check with Chet at 901-484-5689 and Cry Like Realtors at 901-756-8900. Buying or selling? Check with Chet Whitsitt. Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss Sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show. Right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station.
Nearly everyone at some time in their life experience chronic pain, whether it be pain in their back, their knee, their shoulder, joint pain anywhere in their body. And you're tired of living each day with that pain. Well, there is a remedy. It's called QC Kinetics. It's the nation's leader in regenerative treatments to rid you of the pain. And I am a patient. I'm excited about this because they can work on my rotator cuff and my arm where I have experienced problems for the last couple of months. And it is a daily occurrence. I've also had lower back issues for years, not to mention a lack of mobility in my right shoulder. Things happen when you get older, but it's not just for older people, for younger people as well. QC Kinetics can not only help you rid you of the pain, but they can do it in a non-invasive manner. Precision medicine with natural biologics. They have over 100 clinics nationwide, and they've treated thousands of patients with an amazing satisfaction rate. No drugs, no surgery, no downtime. You can keep working, playing, enjoying life to its fullest. Steroid injections may work for a month, but after that, the pain comes back. Regenerative medicine is a long-term answer to your issues. So do what I'm doing. I'm going through QC Kinetics. You can get a free consultation today at 901-445-1010. That's 901-445-1010. 901-445-1010 for QC Kinetics.
Sports 56 traffic.
We have a lot of accidents on the roadways. Still working an accident on Highway 305 between US 72 and Byhalia. They have closed that area off from this morning. South Parkway at 3rd, I-55 North at I-55. The left shoulder is blocked. It's the northbound lanes. American Way at Claudette. Quince at Kirby. You got new accidents on Raleigh-LaGrange at Covington Pike. And I-40 West at I-240 South over the flyover. The center 2 lanes are blocked. Keep it right here. Take it easy out on the roadways. This is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Diamonds are forever. Woo!
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back. Eli and Zach here. Greg is off. He'll be back later in the week. Yeah, people, take it easy out there, man. We're starting our week with a lot of accidents. Don't need all that stuff. Going to be a nice day. Temperatures around 80 degrees. Sun expected to be out later in the day. Do have some rain in the forecast tomorrow, but today looks like it's going to be a pretty nice day. It's Monday. It's time to talk to Barrett Sallee.
It's time to talk some college football. Joining Greg and Eli is Barrett Sallee from CBSSports.com, CBS Sports HQ, and SiriusXM Radio. Here's Barrett Sallee with Greg and Eli.
You can follow him on Twitter at Barrett Sallee. Hello, Barrett. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Man, people need to learn how to drive safely over there.
It's been a rough. Normally that happens when it rains here, because if it rains, like people just start veering off the road uncontrollably. But wait, we don't even have rain today, and people are just getting in accidents everywhere. We got some bad drivers here. That's just the bottom line. We have some bad drivers here. It's something we deal with. I just had somebody text in and ask the question: what if a 2-loss team wins the SEC West and then wins the SEC championship? Would they be in?
I would think that it would be likely. It depends, I think, on what the record is of the team that it would be. probably still be viewed really, really favorably. The landscape of the country obviously has a lot to do with it, but if there's a 2-loss SEC team and let's just say an undefeated TCU and a 1-loss Oregon that won the Pac-12 in 12 straight or 11 straight games, it might be difficult in that scenario.
Yeah, it's weird because I was thinking, I was like, so if you know, whether Alabama, LSU, Ole Miss, whatever, wins with 2 losses, say they beat either Tennessee or Georgia, who's undefeated at that time, and then the other one of Tennessee, Georgia has just 1 loss to the other one sitting out there. Like, could you take 2 SEC teams and not the champion?
That would be quite something. Yeah, you could. I think that would be in a situation like that. It would be hard to justify taking the East team that didn't make the SEC championship game, unless that team is Georgia and the other team in the mix is Oregon.
Yeah.
That would be. It's certainly. I mean, there are situations you can draw up where there are 3 SEC teams. I mean, it would take, a specific set of like 11 different things to happen in a specific order. But, it's certainly possible that you could get 2 in and not have one of them be the SEC champion.
You mentioned Oregon, and I brought that up too. The thing for Oregon is, like, they're playing really well. And I give full credit. Like, Bo Nix is, like, doing some great things, everything else. But they're like, one, if they're being compared to Georgia to get in, if Georgia doesn't ends up losing a game or whatever, you're being compared to Georgia, obviously Georgia. But it's also if Georgia ends up undefeated and is the number 1 seed, and they're looking at Oregon to be the number 4 seed. Nobody in the world wants to see Georgia play Oregon again after what happened the first time.
I don't know. I would. I would, but I don't think Dan Lanning had any expectations to win that game. I think he wanted to make sure his team looked good for the rest of the season. And they do. I mean, over 40 points in every single game since then. And Bo Nix has progressed, in a big, big way. So I think that Oregon, in terms of teams that have improved dramatically from week 1 to week 9, I mean, it's up there at the top or near the top. And so I wouldn't mind seeing it again. It would not go the same way. It would not be 52-3. Would Georgia win? Yeah, probably. But, I mean, that's a different Oregon team. And if they go 11 straight games, win the Pac-12 championship, I think that would prove that they're pretty darn solid. Now, they're not Georgia. They would probably lose, but I do think it would be a much more interesting game.
Well, speaking of teams who have showed improvement from week 1 to now, certainly LSU would qualify. And what they did to Ole Miss after that start and then the second half of that game, they just completely dominated up front. Jaden Daniels has been great. How big of a threat to Alabama is LSU?
I think that they are somewhat of a threat. The biggest thing for LSU is that they just haven't stretched the field deep in the passing game, right? Like, I thought that Kayshon Boutte would be a lot better. He's just sort of okay. So I think if you're going to beat Alabama, you have to expose the secondary, specifically the safeties, like Tennessee did. They beat them over the top. Clearly, that's a possibility for Alabama, anybody playing Alabama, because it is a liability. I don't think LSU can do that. But they do have a very dynamic running game, very similar, and I would say potentially even more diverse and more effective with the quarterback than Tennessee, at least now anyway. There are some aspects of LSU that should threaten Alabama, but not only do they have to make sure all of those come together, but they have to make sure and they have to improve over the bye week to dramatically improve their passing game downfield. Otherwise, it's just not going to happen.
Shane Beamer has South Carolina in the top 25. How?
They haven't played anybody. Honestly, that's pretty much it. 4 straight wins. Look, South Carolina taking care of business is a dramatic improvement, right? They were good last year, went 7-6, won a bowl game. That's cool. easy schedule, and yeah, that includes Texas A&M. So I think it mostly has to do with the schedule, and I think moving forward, if they continue to play consistent football, they might be in mid-November looking like they could get to a New Year's bowl game because their schedule over the next couple of weeks is cake. So, yeah, I mean, I think he's done a great job, but they haven't had a difficult path. And, I still don't trust Spencer Rattler. At this point, he's still a liability, but he's the best they've got at South Carolina right now, and they're making the most with him.
Barrett Salee joining us as he does each and every Monday. Boy, and you mentioned South Carolina, the remaining schedule. One of the teams on that schedule happens to be Clemson. I was at the Clemson-Syracuse game this weekend. Thought maybe I had seen the start of the Cade Klubnik era, but apparently it looks like they'll stick with DJU. I mean, not that Klubnik did anything once he came in the game other than hand off, but I watched that Clemson team. I don't think they're really that good. But then I look at the schedule and I think, well, they're probably going to go undefeated. South Carolina might be the toughest game remaining because I just don't know that Notre Dame's capable. How good do you think Clemson is?
To me, this is a Clemson team that's a lot like that 2017 team that made the playoffs with Kelly Bryant at quarterback. And obviously, we know what happened the following year with Trevor Lawrence. But, I think that season – we all sort of thought, defending national champs. They've been in the playoff 3 straight years. They're a contender. They're a threat, but they really weren't. The offense was extremely one-dimensional. Kelly Bryant was not a passer, and that's kind of how this Clemson team has evolved. DJU has had some good games, but it was against Wake Forest, and in the other good games that he's had, we kind of were just looking at it and well, he didn't screw it up. Right, and that is, if that's the bar, then that's sort of the same bar we had with Kelly Bryant back in 2017. So I think you're right. It's the toughest game in South Carolina, and they probably will run the table. But this is a team that is much more like last year's Cincinnati or 2015's Michigan State. That they're good enough to get there, good for them, but really aren't a threat to win the national championship.
It's funny being in that stadium too. Like those fans are just like, soon as DJU does anything wrong, like they are ready for the change to happen. Like they're like, oh please get him out of the game. Like they want Klubnik in there so bad.
Well, but yeah, you're right. Like I think there might be a lot that people read into DJU being benched and what that means moving forward. But you're right. Klubnik didn't really do an awful lot.
He threw 4 passes. He just even handed off.
He threw 4 exactly. So it's not like, and he got called for and he got a late hit call.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and that was probably the most important thing he did.
Yes.
To be honest with you.
Yeah, that was probably the best play. Like, cause that play might have won them the game because if they punt there, I'm not sure they're gonna. The other one obviously is TCU, who again wins 38-28. They knock off a pretty good Kansas State team. How good do you think TCU is?
I think it's big game tested, right? They've played banger after banger for like a month, and they've handled it okay. But you can't win a championship the way they've been playing, right? You can't continuously dig yourself a hole. But that offense is clearly dangerous. That offense is one that I think it would be difficult for a lot of teams to slow down outside of the Big 12. And I just don't trust them defensively. Yeah, I just cannot wrap my arms around a team that that puts itself into a 28-10 hole. I can't get on board with that. So, and they do it all the time. So it's one of those things where in the Big 12 it's much more likely to cannibalize itself. So I think TCU at some point is going to trip up, and it might be this week. And it might be the Big 12 championship game as an undefeated team. And I mean, it might get that far, but I don't trust TCU to run a gauntlet in a Big 12 that is pretty darn good.
Yeah, it's weird. Obviously they get the win. Like Texas this week disappointed me because with Ewers at quarterback, I think they're actually pretty good, but then he was bad, and then they lose, and they lose that game, and it's like I don't know what Texas is, and that's one of the games TCU still has remaining.
Yeah, and Bijan Robinson apparently disappeared at halftime. Did he leave the stadium? It's just like, where did he go? again, it's one of those things where Texas can beat TCU. Texas can beat anybody in the Big 12. I mean, they almost beat Alabama. On their good days, they're great, but when they get to their C-minus game or their C-plus game or their B-minus game, it's just like, no, this is not going to work. So, yeah, I can't. It's sort of like everybody else in the Big 12. I don't trust them. Even the team that's undefeated in the Big 12 that could win a national championship or at least make college football playoff. I don't trust them either.
Yeah, I don't. That's the. I just. It's hard for me to believe in any of those. Like it is like week to week. I just don't know what really to expect this week in the SEC. Tennessee, one of the tougher games they got remaining with Kentucky. How big of a threat is Kentucky in Knoxville?
Not much of one. I mean, Kentucky, they're not built the way that they need to be built in order to play with Tennessee. You know, Tennessee's going to turn into a track meet. That's what Tennessee does. And while all these NFL folks love Will Levis, he doesn't have the receivers with him right now. And honestly, I think that's a little overrated. That hype's a little overrated anyway. So they just aren't built to score 40 points. I don't think they are from an offensive perspective. And I don't think up front in the front seven, they'll be able to slow down Tennessee's offense at all. So to me, it's one of those things where you look at it on paper, like, yeah, ranked Kentucky. All right. Anybody that's watched Kentucky lately knows that it's not the same old Kentucky that wins battles at the line of scrimmage consistently. In fact, it's far from that.
Can Florida put any kind of scare into Georgia?
No, not at all. I mean, Anthony Richardson can't throw. You know, like, okay, if Anthony Richardson runs for 150 yards, it still wouldn't scare Georgia. But, I mean, that might be the only 150 yards for the game. The entire game. So, you know, they're not threatened by him. Now, I say that, but Georgia also was beaten one time by Treon Harris when Treon Harris was playing for Florida. So, you know, maybe there's a Lloyd Christmas 1 in a million chance.
Who is your right now? Who is your projected playoff?
I have Ohio State number 1. I have Georgia number 2. I had we did this last week. USC number 3 actually, and then I had Clemson number 4. And the reason I had USC is, you know, if they run the table, win the Pac-12, it would probably be 5 ranked teams, 4 or 5 ranked teams that they beat. And especially if they can beat Utah and avenge that loss, that's going to look pretty good. And I don't like to mention this because they say that they don't factor it in. They would factor in the brand value and the geography associated with USC. If USC is in that mix, they're going to get in.
That would certainly be interesting. He is Barrett Sallee, CBSSports.com, CBS Sports HQ, Sirius XM College Radio as well. You can follow him on Twitter at Barrett Sallee. He joins us each and every Monday. Barrett, thank you as always, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Barrett Sallee joining us. So this week you get the cocktail party, which doesn't have much luster. And then Tennessee, Kentucky. Those are the two, I guess, big games. Ole Miss, Texas A&M. A&M just doesn't look good enough to hang with Ole Miss or anybody at this point that actually could score points. So not a great week. But the following week in the SEC, you get LSU, Alabama, and then you get Tennessee and Georgia. Both that week, November 5th, going to be a fun day around the SEC with all of the action going on from college football to the NFL. Of course, tonight, Monday Night Football with the Bears at the Patriots. Grizzlies in action tonight if you're not going down to the game. Great place to watch all of the action. That would be East Coast Wings and a Grill, located just off Highway 64 between Lowe's and Walmart there on Kate Hyde Boulevard. TVs all over the place to watch all the action while enjoying great food and great drinks. 60 flavors of wings to choose from. Certainly the wings are a big part of the menu, but they've got many other great things on the menu beyond the wings. They're great burgers, they're flatbreads, other sandwiches, salads. They've got a lot for you to choose from on that great menu at East Coast Wings and Grill. Plus 24 draft beers on tap for you to choose from as well as many other beers, not on draft, the bottles and everything else. They've got whatever you were looking for. They can take care of you at East Coast Wings and Grill. So for a great place to go watch all of the action anytime, go check them out, East Coast Wings and Grill. Again, just off Highway 64 between Lowe's and Walmart. Back to wrap up hour number 2. We shift gears. We got Tiger basketball, the exhibition game to get into. We got Grizzlies basketball, NFL football, plenty to go as we continue here. Sports 56 mornings, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Let former Memphis Tiger Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy take you home every afternoon with Sports Time on Sports 56. Weekdays from 3 to 6 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Acura of Memphis invites you to experience the all-new, completely redesigned 2022 Acura MDX. It's the most advanced SUV Acura has ever built. Experience the convenience of full connectivity, including built-in Alexa, Wi-Fi hotspot, and wireless charging, from the stunning interior, complete with third-row seating. Stop by our state-of-the-art facility and take advantage of our aggressive APR offers today at Ridgeway and 385. Or shop online from the convenience of home now. Visit AcuraofMemphis.com.
Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Choate's is offering some amazing specials for this month only. If you're considering upgrading your furnace before the cold weather comes, Choate's is offering $1,000 off a new Carrier furnace. If you don't need a new furnace, Choate's is now offering its early bird $60 furnace tune-up. This 22-point tune-up includes a free carbon monoxide test and heat exchanger inspection. And Choate's is your indoor air quality expert. For the best quality air for you and your family, it's recommended to have your air ducts cleaned every 8 years. This month only, Choate's will install a free UV light system when you get your air ducts cleaned, a $500 value. Call us at 347-8086 to take advantage of these amazing deals. So, turn to the experts with Choate's, and remember, let our family serve your family.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder. Depending on how long you've been around, you've likely known my name for 30 years. Perhaps for my 20 years as the morning show on Kix 106 as the Young and Elder Show, or my 15 years at Brian Elder Roofing. So obviously, my reputation means everything to me. One terrible customer experience could tarnish a third of a century of goodwill. My reputation for quality and strong relationships is our main focus. We're the highest certification, a platinum preferred contractor with Owens Corning. If you have a business or a commercial building, we're the highest certification for warranties with GAF and Mulehide products. We don't come at you in sales mode. If you got a problem, sometimes the solution is just to fix the problem. Call me right now. I'll come out and see you today. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Violent crime is a problem that's on everybody's mind. We've even been told to shelter in place like a pandemic. The leadership chosen by the two-party system has not prevented the crime wave. As a matter of fact, it's increased. We keep doing the same things and expect different results. It's time to do something different to clean up crime. I'm George Flynn, independent candidate for Congress in the 9th District. No one has stopped our crime pandemic, and looking around, no one else is coming to help. In Congress, I'll get our tax dollars back to clean up crime, even if it takes an act of Congress. Republicans and Democrats can both vote independent to clean up crime. I'm George Flynn, asking for your vote to clean up crime in Memphis, and I approve this message. Paid for by Flynn for Congress, Lonnie Treadaway, Treasurer. Let's clean up crime. Vote different. Vote independent. Vote Flynn for Congress. Together, we can do this.
Hey, what QC Kinetics is doing for people here is terrific. Nothing short of amazing. I'm talking real lasting relief from joint pain. Hey, it's Greg Gaston. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in exciting new pain treatments with advanced regenerative medicine, non-surgical alternatives. If you're living with joint pain from injury or arthritis, don't let them tell you steroids and pain meds and surgery are your only options. QC Kinetics uses regenerative treatments that can restore and repair damaged tissue. All right, maybe you've been diagnosed with bone-on-bone arthritis and have been told you need a replacement. Call QC Kinetics now for an alternative way to deal with the pain. These amazing protocols work with pain caused by injury as well, like a torn meniscus or rotator cuff. Call QC Kinetics now. Don't delay. Don't keep living with that pain. Learn how regenerative medicine can give you your life back with no drugs and no surgery. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 901-445-1010. That's 901-445-1010. QC Kinetics, 901-445-1010.
Hi, folks. Bob Burkhead for Sunrise Buick GMC Truck. Thinking about buying a new or used car or truck? Remember, the selection's better and the savings are bigger at Sunrise. Over 600 new cars and trucks to choose from. Factory rebates up to $2,000 and interest rates low as 0%. Bad credit? It's okay. At Sunrise, we've got a financing plan for everybody. SunriseMemphis.com. We're saving you money. It's just a way of doing business. Covington, Pike, Wolf Chase, and Collierville. We make it fun to buy a car again. Check out the all-new Sunrise Truck Corral. Huge selection of nothing but trucks. All makes, all models, all prices, all trucks, all the time. Next to Sunrise Wolf Chase.
Now is the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's right, $1,000. That's free bets back if your first bet doesn't win. Just sign up using promo code GASMAN. You got to love FanDuel. You get your winnings paid extremely fast. All your favorite bets from the money line to point spreads to player props are available on FanDuel. All on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. So sign up today with promo code GASMAN for your no-sweat first bet. That's promo code GASMAN. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or over, present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you have a gambling problem, call Tennessee Redline at 1-800-889-9789.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
To reveal the full spectrum of its dazzling color.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back. Greg off today. He'll be back later in the week. Eli and Zach here in the Family Leisure Studios. This hour of the program is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. A couple of quick texts here. JJ, who is a longtime Tiger fan, says, I've been around Tiger football a long time. Last 3 games have been tough, but everyone needs to take a deep breath. Team could have tanked to the half, but didn't. Real fans need to support this program the rest of the season, and at the end of it, we'll see where we are. Go Tigers, go. Yeah, again, I mean, that's ideally, yes, you love the fans that continue to support. I just wonder, we've seen it with this program before, losing games, fans jump off, basketball gets started, they start paying attention to other things. I'll be interested to see how many people show up for UCF. And if they lose to UCF, then you start talking about Tulsa, you start talking about North Alabama, there could be some very sparse crowds. Steve says the Tigers still have a window to a decent year. At 8-4, the pressure would be off of Ryan. Let's see if this team can get angry and play like Tigers. Yes, if they can recover and win out, go 8-4. Yes, but right now there's no indication that's going to happen. But again, UCF is obviously UCF is beatable. They'd only scored 13 points against East Carolina. It depends what UCF team shows up. They can look great. They can look very mediocre. The rest of the games other than UCF are absolutely winnable. Tulsa, not a great team by any means. You should beat them at home. Obviously, North Carolina. At SMU could be difficult, but this is not a great SMU team by any means. It's a very beatable SMU team. UCF is definitely the toughest game remaining, and that is at home. So, yes, could they do that? Yeah, absolutely. They have the bye week this week to kind of recover, regroup, reset, whatever you want to say, and try and figure out a way to beat UCF, which will not be easy. But yes, I would think UCF is by far the toughest game remaining on the schedule for the Tigers. On YouTube, Gorilla Car, I guess is what it goes by. Hugh Freeze is the answer.
Sure.
There's a lot of people. And listen, what Hugh Freeze is doing at Liberty continues to be impressive. They beat BYU 41-14, scored the last 38 points of that game after falling down 14-3. He's doing a great job there. I don't know where Hugh Freeze is going to end up. He seems very happy at Liberty, but I think at some point he's going to move on from there. That's probably going to be to a bigger job, quite honestly. It's probably to a Power 5 program when he leaves Liberty. Not
Send
to Memphis.
him to Nebraska.
I don't know that he works well at Nebraska. I don't know that anybody works well at Nebraska. I think Nebraska is going to be a tough job for anybody. But yeah, I mean, there's already a lot of openings. There will be probably a lot more. Where Hugh Freeze ends up, I don't know. But I think if he moves on from Liberty, it's going to be to the Power 5, not to a place like Memphis.
All I'm saying, if he managed to get DK, Laramie, and those guys to Ole Miss, I'm more sure he could get those guys in Nebraska.
Well, yeah, it just took a little trouble to get them there. A little trouble afterwards with that thing. But no, listen, Hugh Freeze can coach. Obviously, he did some other things, but Hugh Freeze can coach, and he's doing a good job. Again, Liberty's taking care of him, and he seems comfortable there. He can be very choosy about if he does want to leave, about where he goes, because Liberty is certainly taking good care of him there, and he's having success there. Although it's not like you're going to win a national championship. There's only so much you can do at Liberty, so that's why, again, I think at some point you have to move on. But right now, I think he seems pretty comfortable there, and we'll see when he moves on. But I don't think it's going to be to a place like Memphis. That is for sure. All right, coming up in hour number 3, we shift gears. We talk basketball. Tigers were in action yesterday. Exhibition versus CBU. Grizzlies, back-to-back in Texas. One good, one really, really bad. And they're back in action tonight down at FedEx Forum with Kevin Durant and Kyrie and Ben Simmons and the Nets in town. Got NFL football, Major League Baseball as well. That comes your way. Hour number 3 coming up. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
When the weather gets better, I found a new place to really soak it in. It's the patio at the Commissary in Collierville. We all love the delicious Memphis-style barbecues. You can begin your barbecue fest with some great appetizers like the cheese plate or the tamales or the barbecue nachos. Oh, those smoked chicken wings, they're terrific too. Then dig into the ribs or the barbecue shoulder. Get it chopped or pulled on a sandwich. A big sandwich, or you can get it on a plate. You've got choice, and you've got choice in places. Don't forget the Germantown Commissary as well. Comes with beans and slaw, deviled eggs they're famous for. And Brad, you can even order by the pound, a 6-pack or an 8-pack or even a 12-pack. The Boss Man salad, the chicken plate, the barbecue shrimp. There's something for everybody, and those great desserts. The best icebox lemon pie anywhere. Or my favorite, the banana pudding. Check out the patio, TVs for sports, and music on the weekends. You love the Commissary.
You need concrete coatings, materials, and supplies in Memphis fast, and you get this answer? Oh yeah, we got that stuff, I think, but it's in Wisconsin, so you're going to have to wait a few days for delivery. Why wait? Get your concrete coating and supplies now at TSS Supply. Everything that you need for coating concrete at TSS Supply, 5665 East Rains Road. And you're not dealing with just any supply store. TSS Supply specializes only in concrete coatings, materials, and supplies, all in one place. Most products are delivered same day or within 24 hours. Looking for a particular item, you need large quantities, or just have general questions? Call them at 901-729-0565, 729-0565, or you can email your question to Brad at tsssupply.com. All month in October, TSS Supply is celebrating its grand opening with 10% off your first order. TSS Supply, 5665 East Rains Road.
Buying a home? Rocket Mortgage will cover 1% of your rate for the first year at no cost to you, saving you hundreds, even thousands with Inflation Buster. For example, if you lock a 7% rate today, you'll only pay 6% for a year. That means more road trips, more date nights, more front row seats. Every month for a year, and your rate is secured for 30 years. Now imagine if rates drop within 3 years of your home purchase and you get exclusive savings when you refinance at that new lower rate. More home upgrades, more rainy day funds, more cash in your pocket. Save when you buy today and refinance tomorrow. Call 8337-ROCKET today or visit inflationbuster.com to start saving. That's 8337-ROCKET or go to inflationbuster.com.
For fees covered, rate like date requirements and other terms and conditions, visit inflationbuster.com or call 1-8337-ROCKET, equal housing lender license in all 50 states, NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test-driven, checked out from head to toe. Unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales.
Grizz Nation, don't miss your Grizzlies tonight at 7 p.m. as they take on Kevin Durant and the Brooklyn Nets on Memphis Hustle Night. Arrive early. First 3,000 fans receive a Hustle schedule magnet. Get your tickets today by calling 901-888-HOOP or visiting Grizzlies.com. Want to sleep better, manage pain, ease anxiety, or just feel better? Have you tried hemp? Hemp 2.0 is a locally owned and operated full-service retail CBD and THC store in Collierville. Hemp 2.0 carries only the best and latest lines of all hemp-derived products, with over 100 different brands to choose from to meet all needs. Whether you want to combat pain and inflammation, sleepless nights, arthritis pain, or stress, Hemp 2.0 has something to improve your overall health and well-being. If you're looking for an unbeatable, uplifting, and euphoric feel, Hemp 2.0 now also carries all federally legal hemp-derived THC products. Have questions? Come by Hemp 2.0 and meet their knowledgeable staff or visit shophemp20.com. At Hemp 2.0, they provide a quality range of the best CBD and THC products, including edibles, topicals, smokables, tinctures, vapes, and their newest addition, infused drinks. Experience the finest, all natural products at Hemp 2.0 today. 3670 South Houston Levee Road in Collierville. Hemp 2.0, your one-stop shop for health, wellness, lifestyle.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253 DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Sports 56 traffic.
We're still working an accident on Raleigh LaGrange at Covington Pike, Highway 385 at US 72. The right shoulder is blocked there. I-40 West at I-240 south of the flyover. The center 2 lanes are blocked. South Parkway at 3rd Street, accident there. New accident on I-40 West at Sycamore View. The right 2 lanes are blocked. That's I-40 West at Sycamore View. The right 2 lanes are blocked. This is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Now, back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis.
Who's lightning?
Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back. Hour number 3 is brought to you by Acura of Memphis here on Sports 56 mornings on this Monday. Hope your day and week are off to a good start. Getting some cloudy skies out there right now, but we are expecting to see some sun later on this afternoon. Temperatures getting up around 80 degrees as well, so going to be a pretty nice day for folks out there. Again, got some rain in the forecast looking like possibly for tomorrow. Certainly we can use a little bit of rain, and there is some in the forecast for tomorrow. We'll see if that does actually happen. We're here in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. The Relax at Home sale going on right now at Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road. Check out massage chairs or a brand new home theater set. How about pool tables, shuffleboards, all kinds of great games? Well, you can check it out right now. Family Leisure, the Relax at Home sale is going on. Come on by and save right now. We have talked a lot of college football through the first couple hours of the program. Want to shift gears, talk some basketball, talk some baseball, talk some NFL football as well here in hour number 3. As always, you could join the program on the Sports 56 listener line, 901-360-8255, 901-360-8255. You can either call or text us on that number. The Memphis Tiger basketball team took the court for the first time. It was an exhibition game against CBU yesterday down at FedEx Forum. I did not get a chance to see the game. I was making my way back to Memphis. I was not back in time to get down there. But certainly if you look at the box score, you read about it, I think it's going to be, this is what we're going to deal with the Tigers this year. The major concern of this Tigers team The biggest one is shooting. And yesterday they went 2 of 19 from three-point range. Now, is it always going to be that bad? Well, not only is it always going to be that bad, but this is a team that when you look around, there is not a whole lot of great shooting. They're going to need Kendrick Davis to be really good. He was last year a 37% three-point shooter. Yesterday he was 0 for 5. Certainly, I don't think you're going to get 0 for 5 from Kendrick Davis. He was good, though. He had 22 points. He just didn't shoot the three ball well. He was 5 for 7 from two-point range, and he was 12 of 13 at the free throw line. That's one thing about this team, just because of Kendrick Davis. You expect this team to be a much better free throw shooting team because he's a really good free throw shooter, and he'll be the guy getting to the line all the time. So the free throw shooting that has been a problem for years upon years, it should be a lot better as a team simply because of one guy. But you look up and down, Jaden Hardaway got the start yesterday, 0 for 6 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3. DeAndre Williams went for 12 points and 9 rebounds. But the only guys to make threes, Keontae Kennedy made 1. He was 1 for 4. And Jonathan Lawson, he was 1 for 3. They were the only 2 guys to make a 3. Again, 2 for 19 from three-point range. And a 69-60 This team is going to, there's going to be nights. There will be nights where Davis might hit a bunch or whatever, go off. There's going to be a lot of nights where it's going to be the 3 for 20. And it seems going to have it will have trouble scoring. In today's basketball, if you can't hit threes, it can be difficult to score. And this team is going to have to live inside the arc. They certainly cannot fall in love with the three-point shot at any point because they don't have them. They don't have great shooters. Again, Kendrick Davis is going to be better than 0 for 5. He is a good three-point shooter. But teams also know that he is basically the only three-point shooter on this team. Again, this is the first exhibition game. They got another one coming up on Sunday against Lane before things get going for real. I don't know how much you could possibly take out of a exhibition game against CBU, but certainly that 2 for 19 from three-point range is a little bit concerning because it's the one concern you have going in, and it came to fruition. Well, I don't know if this team has enough shooting, and then you see them go 2 for 19 from three-point range against a team in Christian Brothers that they're obviously way better than, or should be way better than, more athletic, everything else. So you think you're probably getting some pretty good looks against CBU, and you can't knock them in. But Kendrick Davis, what you expect. 22 points, 6 assists, again, got to the free throw line 13 times. DeAndre Williams, nearly a double-double, 12 points, 9 rebounds. Now, we'll see what the starting lineup ends up going with. In this game, it was Kendrick Davis and then all the returning guys. So you had Davis and Lomax in the starting lineup together, which I can only imagine made Greg extremely happy. I can only imagine. I bet he was so happy yesterday to see Alex Lomax in the starting lineup.
Oh, man.
Along with then Jaden, Malcolm Dandridge, DeAndre Williams. So you had returning guys and Kendrick Davis. I don't expect that to be the starting lineup when things get for reals, as they say. Of course, you still have the DeMaria Franklin situation going on with whether he's going to get eligible, which I just don't understand. As a coach, I don't know what you can't win the PR battle. Preventing a kid from playing college basketball or football, whatever, if you don't release him to go play somewhere else, you're always going to look like the bad guy as the coach. So I just don't understand what the coach is doing there. Just sign off on it. Let the kid go play. He's not playing for you anymore. He's not going to play for some opponent of yours. Him playing at Memphis has no effect on UIC. None whatsoever. So why not just release him? What are you doing? What's the purpose of saying, no, I don't want to sign off on this and let him go play somewhere else?
He's still having a personal grudge from what happened 3 years ago?
I just don't. It just doesn't make sense. There's no reason to hold the kid hostage in this situation. It has no effect whatsoever on your season, whether you let him play or not play.
I really think like coaches have some coaches have like this moral code, this unwritten moral code in college basketball that they're trying to uphold, but it's like this is a different age. Like not every kid is going to stay with your program for 4 years and maybe decide you're going to play him in his grad year. Like not everybody's going to do that.
The thing is this, dude, UIC got him as a transfer. So like when he came to your school, he was able to play right away.
Exactly.
And you were fine with that. Like, now that the kid wants to transfer somewhere else, like, for whatever reason, you're not fine with it? Like, I just don't, I don't know. It's just bizarre to me that a coach would try, like, I don't know. Again, I would even understand it more if he was, like, going to another school in your conference, like, where you're like, okay, this is, like, directly affects us and our path to what we want to accomplish this year. Him being at Memphis has no effect whatsoever on the University of Illinois Chicago. That it whether he's playing here has no effect on them. And I don't get it. I don't understand as a coach what the purpose of trying to hold that kid hostage is. And you're not going to win the PR battle. Nobody is going to side with the coach and go, oh yeah, he should take a stand. Yeah, don't let that kid play somewhere else this year. Make him wait a year to play. That's what we need. We need coaches to take – no, like, come on. Just let the kid play. Sign off on it. Let the kid play. You know, Lomax in the game yesterday, 4 points, 2 of 6 from the field, 0 of 2 from 3. Dandridge only took 3 shot attempts, 5 points, 4 rebounds for him. You know, McCadden off the bench, 3 for 4 from the field, 6 points. Keontae Kennedy, 9 points off the bench. Again, he was one of the 2 guys that actually made a 3. KO took 4 shots, which actually surprised me. 6 rebounds, 2 points for him, 3 blocks. Certainly that's where he's going to, he is not much of an offensive player, but certainly defensively can make a huge impact. But offensively, I mean, this team is going to go, it's pretty much going to be on Kendrick Davis. Now, if they can get Franklin eligible, certainly he can have an impact offensively. Like, he's a guy that can score. Again, he's not a great shooter. That's the problem with so many guys on the team, that even the scorers are not great shooters. But he is a guy who can score. And there's going to be nights where they're going to need some scoring because it's going to be tough. I mean, they put up 69 points only against CBU. They're going to face a lot better competition than CBU. But if Kendrick Davis has a night where he's off from 3-point range, like it's going to be some problems scoring. There's no doubt about that. 2 for 19 from 3-point range. It's hard to win basketball games that way in today's world. Texter says they have no one to go to inside. Malco can't shoot a lick, and Lawson hasn't shown much. Yeah, I mean, there's not. Yeah, Malcolm Dandridge is not. You're not going to give the ball to him on the block and expect a whole lot. Chandler Lawson, yeah. I mean, you certainly don't have Jalen Duren not on the block right now.
No.
Kendrick Davis is going to decide a lot. Kendrick Davis is going to be the offense, whether it's him scoring himself or having to create opportunities for others. DeAndre Williams certainly will have the ability to score. But there's not a lot of guys who you look at and go, yeah, we can count on him. McCadden can score a little bit, but again, not a shooter. They need Franklin. They need Franklin eligible, quite frankly. Quite frankly. They need more offense. And he's one of the guys that actually could provide that. There's just not a lot of offense.
He averaged 20 at Illinois Chicago. Am I correct?
17.8 last year. Nearly 7 rebounds, 2.5 assists. Like he can play. But I don't know what the starting lineup will end up being. I think Kennedy ends up having to start because I think you need his shooting. Certainly we know DeAndre and Kendrick Davis.
For sure.
And I would assume Dandridge starts just because I think I think he will start over KO at center. The other two spots, I don't know. I would think Kennedy ends up being one of them. If Franklin gets eligible, certainly I think he's one of them. You know, McCadden was really good coming off the bench last year when he was the 6th man of the year in the Sun Belt. So they may want to continue. Like that might be a role he likes and they feel like he could thrive in. But offensively, there's going to be some nights where it is a real struggle, and they're going to be relying so much on Kendrick Davis that if he has that game where he's off, it's going to be really, really tough. Again, they get another exhibition this Sunday against Lane, and then they start getting things for real in the very near future. Meanwhile, the Grizzlies played 2 games in Texas. They went completely opposite directions. We'll get into that when we come back. Ja was masterful on Friday night. And then Saturday, it was terrible. And how much concern should there be about Desmond Bane and the start to the season that he is having shooting the basketball? Is there something wrong with him? Is there an injury? We'll get into that a little bit as well. Fleet Feet, the place to go to get all your running gear. You want to make sure you get shoes just right for you. We'll go see the folks at Fleet Feet, either one of their 2 locations. East Memphis, Laurelwood Shopping Center. Out in Collierville, Poplar and Houston Levy, next to Huey's. You go in, they take a look at the way that you run, the way you walk, where you put the pressure on the different parts of your feet, and they fit you with shoes just right for you. A lot of people don't even buy the right size shoes. They don't even know what's going on, how to buy shoes. Folks at Fleet Feet will make sure you have the proper size and the proper shoe as well. So when you're out there walking or running, you're not going to have any issues. Plus, all of your other gear, they've got that for you. Plus, any advice or anything else, ask them questions. They're all runners. They can help you out. Either one of their 2 locations. You can also find them online, fleetfeetmemphis.com. They got a Facebook page where they keep you up to date with things they've got going on, group runs, other things that you can get involved with, races around town. They'll let you know what's going on in that running world at Fleet Feet. Talking some Grizzlies, you can join us on the Sports 56 listener line, 901-360-8255, 901-360-8255. Are you concerned about Desmond Bane at all? We're only a few games into the year, but he is struggling shooting the basketball, and he struggled in the preseason as well. We'll talk about that when we come back. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey everybody, how great are fall trips in a new truck or SUV? I'm out here at Olive Branch checking out Chevrolet's truck season at All Star Chevrolet. Find what you want, and if you don't find it, order what you want. A new Silverado High Country or Crew Cab, Blazer, Traverse, how about a new 2023 Camaro convertible? Or how about a new Equinox with 1.9 financing, because your good credit deserves it. All Star is famous for their certified and pre-owned selections, Ram Laramies and Bighorn, Mustangs, Grand Caravans, Suburbans, Tahoes, they got it all. Kevin and Jeff asked me to give a big shout out to all of you that brought your great pre-owned cars and trucks to them to purchase. If you have a car or truck you want to sell today, bring it to Olive Branch and get a check for some crazy good money, even if you owe money on it. And don't wait for service. Gary, here at All Star, is your guy. Remember, it's not the Pike, not South Haven, not Mount Moriah, Bartlett, or Collierville. Find new roads to All Star Chevy in Olive Branch or go to allstarautogroup.com.
I'm Kelly Erb with Mark Spensdorf Realtors, and I just had to ask, Sheldon, did you really just buy a set of golf clubs and you never tried them out?
Yep, that's right.
And Sheldon, didn't you tell me whenever you buy a car, you never test drive it?
Again? Yep.
Don't you think that's pretty bizarre since you always tell people to talk to 2 or 3 agents when they sell their home?
Yes, it is. I'm Sheldon Rosengarten, and I'm also with Mark Spensdorf Realtors with Kelly. It's funny, we tell people that you should always talk to more than one agent to find out not only what they think about your home, but more importantly, what they will do for you. And you really need to make sure and include us in the interview process.
I agree, because how are you going to find out about our strategic marketing program with the Shellbucks option? And as people often say, when you want the job done, call Sheldon.
That's Sheldon Rosengarten and Kelly Erb. Call or email us at memphisrelocate.com or 682-1868. Do it now, 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder. Depending on how long you've been around, you've likely known my name for 30 years. Perhaps for my 20 years as the morning show on Kix 106 as the Young and Elder Show, or my 15 years at Brian Elder Roofing. So obviously, my reputation means everything to me. One terrible customer experience could tarnish a third of a century of goodwill. My reputation for quality and strong relationships is our main focus. We're the highest certification, a platinum preferred contractor with Owens Corning. If you have a business or a commercial building, we're the highest certification for warranties with GAF and Mulehide products. We don't come at you in sales mode. If you got a problem, sometimes the solution is just to fix the problem. Call me right now. I'll come out and see you today. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
When you think about insurance and you want great value without sacrificing great service, I want you to think one place: the Eflin Insurance and the entire Eflin Insurance team. Matt and his group of professionals will access 10 leading companies to find the right home and auto program that fits your budget and your absolute needs. The Eflin Insurance team, the number 386-GER, 386-4777.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Lawn Solutions is a locally owned, family-operated, weed-control fertilization company that serves the greater Memphis area. They have specialized, hand-selected programs that will help with the transition from dormant lawns in the winter to the spring. They can diagnose and treat any disease your lawn and landscape may have. The owner of the company is Brandon Holly, and he has a team of professionals that can take care of your lawn all year long. That's what they do. Even during the winter months, they're applying pre-emergence. In the summer months, they're applying the post-emergence. That's why you see the Lawn Solutions vehicles around the Mid-South all year long. All you need to do is give Brandon a call at 901-867-5626. That's 901-867-5626. Tell him I sent you, or fill out an estimate online at LawnSolutionsInc.net.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis.
Witness the power.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
I've been roaming around, always looking down at all I see.
Welcome back here, Family Leisure Studios. This hour brought to you by Acura of Memphis. They're on Ridgeway right there at 385. That's where you can find some great automobiles, great people to deal with, a great car buying experience. That's what you get at Acura of Memphis. Get a lot of information on the website at AcuraMemphis.com, but nothing beats the in-person service, taking that test drive, feeling the Acura difference when you actually go see them at Acura of Memphis. They bring you hour number 3 of our show each and every day. Well, the Grizzlies, after last week's season opening win over the Knicks, hit the road for a couple in Texas. Friday night, it was the Ja Morant show. 49 points for Ja. Went for 21 in the first half, had 19 in the third quarter, so had 40 points going into the fourth quarter. Finishes with 49, 5 of 6 from three-point range, 8 assists, couple of blocks, a steal, 17 of 26 overall from the field. It was just, I mean, that was one of those performances that, like, it makes you realize, like, how cool it is to have that type of guy. That on any given night, he has that ability to go get you 50. You never know what you might see. He was unstoppable. And if he's going to go 5 of 6 from 3-point range, he literally is unstoppable. I mean, you have no chance at guarding him. It ended up being a close game. Rockets, Jalen Green was really good for them with 33 points. 4 of 5 from 3 for him. He's going to be a good one. Jabari Smith, the rookie, did not have a great game. 3 of 14 from the field for him. Şengün off the bench with 23 points. So the Grizzlies needed all of that from Ja. They needed everything they could get to go get that win against Houston. And the Rockets have a lot of good young pieces that they got to figure it out and put it all together. John Conchar in that game, 17 points as well. 3 of 6 from 3-point range for him. Desmond Bane had 14 points, but was only 3 of 16 from 3-point range. Or from the field, 3 of 10 from 3-point range. Then Saturday night, the Grizzlies just ran into a buzzsaw. Like it from the very get-go, it was never good. Down 39-17 after 1, and it just never got better from there. Mavericks end up winning it 137-96. Led by as many as 42. They win by 41. Led the entire way. It was just, it was awful. Ja goes for 20. Bane 14. Roddy had 12 off the bench. Tyus Jones with 10. Those were your double figures. Luka, 32 points, 10 assists. Christian Wood, who I think is a great addition for that Dallas team, goes for 25. And the Grizzlies you have those nights. And in this one, Bane, 4 of 11 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3-point. So, Desmond Bane now, through 3 games. Again, it's only 3 games. But he did struggle shooting the basketball in the preseason. Bane now, through 3 games, is shooting 26% from the field. He is 13 of 49 overall from the field. And he is 8 of 28 for 28% from 3-point range. Ja has made as many threes as Desmond Bane on half the attempts. Bane is 8 for 28. Ja's 8 for 14 from 3-point range. Now, one thing for Desmond Bane, you got to give credit. He's averaging 5.7 assists through these first 3 games. So he's certainly making plays for others. Last year he averaged 2.7. His rookie year, 1.7. So, Zach, I ask you, is it, hey, it's only 3 games? Or, well, we saw in the preseason he didn't shoot the ball really well. I know some people think he's hurt. The back's causing issues. Any concern for you about Desmond Bane?
No concern. No concern. I still think it's still a little early to kind of be concerned, but it is kind of weird not seeing him make any shots from 3 at a high volume. I think missing Dylan, missing Zaire on the perimeter is the reason. I think personally for me, because now teams knows that their opponents know that, okay, if Ja's going off, we got to slow down their second guy. Because Ja's going to get his points regardless. We got to slow down the second guy. And right now, the second guy is Desmond. So they're he's getting, I was there opening night against the Knicks. He was getting wide open shots. Even against the Rockets on Friday. He was getting wide open shots. He's not knocking them down right now. And that could be just a rhythm thing where he's not in his rhythm. But having another creator, quote unquote, and I'm putting them in air quotes because Dylan's not a creator, having another guy that can find his own shot, air quotes, sets up Desmond a lot. Because then at that point, he can just roam and, find his shot around the 3-point line.
Well, certainly, you look at the playoffs last year, Desmond did a lot of damage to Minnesota. And then Golden State kind of took the approach of, we're not going to let him go up. Because it is, you could take the approach of, listen, Ja's going to score. Like, we can't stop him. Like, we're going to live with him. If we don't let Desmond go, or if it's whoever, Dylan, when he's back in there, whatever. But if it's just Ja and we can control everybody else, okay, fine. Let Ja go off. Just don't. And Desmond is right now, without question, as you said, he is the guy, the number 2 guy. And so teams could be saying, listen, let Ja have his 30, 40, whatever. If we can stop Bane from getting open looks, we're not, like, let's be honest, they're not going to be scared of John Conchar. Like, and John Conchar has turned into a very good player. Like, and he's probably, like, he might be the best shooter they have right now because Bane's struggling. But he's not like, they're going to be like, okay, Bane is going to be the clear focus. If you say, listen, Ja's going to get his, we understand that. I mean, we'll do our best, but we understand he's going to get his. Who do we not want to go off as the second guy? You're going to say Desmond Bane. That he is the most likely to go off as the number 2 guy. And if you give up 25 or 30 to Bane, well, then you're going to be in real problems. So certainly I do think teams are paying more attention to him. But as you said, he's also missing open looks. Like he's getting some open looks that in the past you just felt like he made every one of them. It felt like he always, you give him a wide open look, it felt like it always went in. It's not going down right now. I'm with you. It's only 3 games. I don't know what the issue is, and I don't know how many games before he's just, like, if it's another 3 and all of a sudden you're 6 games in and he's still shooting 25% from 3-point range. I don't know when the concern starts, but right now, through 3 games, I'm not overly concerned, but there is just a little bit, simply because the preseason he struggled too.
Yeah.
And I don't think anything out of preseason basketball. And I thought, who cares? Once the regular season starts, he'll start hitting shots. But he hasn't started hitting them. So now I'm like, okay, maybe there is something there. But I'm certainly not that concerned.
Yeah.
But I just feel, but again, going back to Friday night, I mean, Ja, like, dude, that's just, maybe if he's going to shoot 5 of 6 from 3-point range, he is unguardable. You are, at that point, you just throw your hands up and say, listen, I don't know. Coach, sorry. Somebody else try and guard him because I don't have an answer. Like, he's just, like, when he gets in that mode, there's nothing you can do.
Most improved.
When he had the 40 through 3, I'm like, oh my, are we going to see, could we see a 60-point game? And he almost needed it. But, and then, the Dallas game, it's Dallas's home opener. They've been off since opening night. You're coming back, second game of a back-to-back, in which you did, the Grizzlies had to exert a lot of energy to win that Houston game. Ja especially. So Saturday, they were walking into a trap Saturday. Like, that was set up. Now, I didn't think they were going to lose by 41 points, but it was set up to be a loss. I mean, Dallas has been sitting around since, Wednesday night.
Yes.
Didn't play Thursday, didn't play Friday. They've been at home. This is their home opener. Ja's coming off a 49-point game. Luka's fired up because it's that matchup with one of the other top players in the West. Like, this was a trap that the Grizzlies walked into. Again, shouldn't lose by 41. Should never lose by 41. But this was a trap, and this was set up to be a loss by the schedule.
This is like the second or third time that the Mavericks had caught the Grizzlies, like, on a back-to-back for 3 games in 5 nights or something like that. This is like the second or third time that this has happened. And they're not, and the thing is like, I would love to use the Dallas Mavericks game as like as a bar to kind of figure out, like, okay, like, this team, like, where they are, but it's either both teams are never healthy to play against each other, or it was COVID. So it was like, it was either one of those things. So we couldn't really get a true test to see, like, how really good this team is because of those 2 things, especially now with injuries, as we're still waiting to get guys back.
The good news is the other 3 games against Dallas this year, none of them are a second of a back-to-back.
Thank God.
They get they play them all. The other 3 games all happen in a 10-day stretch. Actually, not even that, a 7-day stretch, 8-day stretch. March 11th, they play Dallas at home, and then both teams will travel to Dallas and play 2 nights later at Dallas.
Yeah.
So they play a back-to-back against Dallas, Saturday, Monday, home, away. And then the other one against Dallas, they play Golden State at home on Saturday, and then Dallas comes in on that Monday. So that's the other games against us. So no more second of a back-to-back against Dallas. But yes, it's first of all, it's weird scheduling that the Grizzlies, to open the season, play 3 games in 4 nights. Like, that makes no sense.
None.
And 4 and 6. Whereas Dallas has played 2 games. Like, they played Wednesday and then didn't play again until Saturday. Like, why 3 and 4 nights to open the season, to me, makes no sense. I don't even understand that scheduling, like, why you would do that to a team. And then now they get the Grizzlies back in action tonight with KD and Kyrie and the Nets in town down at FedEx Forum. But, yeah, that was a very unfortunate scheduling circumstance that the Grizzlies moved into there. But tonight should be fun. I mean, obviously, there will be a lot of KD fans. There will be a lot of Kyrie fans. We'll see Ben Simmons and all of that. You know, Ben Simmons for the first time that we actually see him in person here and in a Nets uniform. And should be a fun night down at FedEx Forum. We'll see if Ja can go off again. You know, Ja versus Kyrie, that's pretty fun. That's a pretty good matchup at the point guard position.
Hopefully we get another vintage Santi game.
Yes.
He don't want to send the Nets into a full rebuild. Not a full rebuild, but he sent Harden off to Philly.
And and again, hopefully Desmond Bane can find the stroke.
Yes.
I mean, Desmond Bane's shooting 26% from the field. That's the thing. He's not hitting threes, and he's not even hitting twos. Like, he's only shooting 26% from the field overall. He's actually better from 3-point range than 2-point range. He's 28% from 3, 26% overall from the field. So it's weird.
I really think it's a rhythm thing. I really do.
And I'm guessing that Dillon's probably back tonight since they listed him as questionable.
Hope so.
Questionable for the Grizzlies usually means playing.
Yes.
Like, that's kind of the way they're when you get upgraded from out or doubtful or whatever to questionable, usually that means you're ready to play.
Yeah.
So I'm going to guess Dillon plays tonight. Don't know that for sure, but I'm going to guess he probably plays tonight. How much he plays, I don't know. But I'm going to guess that we see Dillon back in action tonight.
I hope so. That we got to slow down that 7-footer on the other side, man.
Yeah, they got he's pretty good. And Dillon certainly would be nice to have him to guard. Because who guards Kevin Durant?
Probably Santi.
Oof.
That's a tough ask, man.
Yeah, that's.
Because then, Ben Simmons in the starting lineup too, so it's I guess you could put Santi on Ben Simmons and then and if Dillon is playing, you throw Dillon on KD.
Yeah, Dillon certainly, if he's playing, you expect to see him a lot of him on KD. There's no doubt about that. But tonight, Grizzlies and the Nets down at FedEx Forum. What is the line on that game? Do you know by chance?
I don't.
Let me look that up real
Not
quick.
off the top of my head.
It is Grizzlies are a 1.5-point favorite. Over under 232.5. So they're expecting some points to be scored, which is normally the case in these games, especially with the Nets. And we'll see if Ja can maybe come up with another masterful performance. Again, the Grizzlies are 2-0. Like John on Facebook says, Ja scores 49, then we get blown out by 41. What a season this could be. Hope they turn it around. I know it's only one game. Yeah, hope they turn. They're 2-1. And again, that Dallas game, yes, you should never lose by 41. But it was a trap. It was a trap set up by the schedule makers.
Yeah.
There's just nothing. You were going to lose that game. You were destined to lose that game. Losing by 41 is not what you expect, but you were destined to lose that game with them in their home opener after 2 nights off and you coming off of a game the night before at Houston.
You got the road split, so that's all that matters. So.
Yes, that's all you want. That's why the Houston game was really important because you knew you probably weren't going to win the Dallas game. So you wanted to make sure you got one of the two. You're sitting at 2-1. Everything is fine. I mean, look around the NBA. It's bizarre. I mean, the Lakers can't win a game.
Oh.
The Philadelphia 76ers, now the 76ers have played much tougher competition, but 76ers are 0-3. And James Harden's playing great. And they're 0-3. You've got the Lakers at 0-3. And then the Jazz won't lose. The Jazz get rid of their entire team, and they won't lose a game now. This is bizarre stuff that is going on. How are the Jazz undefeated with that roster? But it's just, this is, so there's a lot of weird things going on. Till you get probably 10, 12 games in, let's let things sort out. The Lakers are in a bad situation, though. Lakers are in a really bad situation.
They don't play tonight. That's unfortunate.
I don't know what you do with Russell Westbrook. You can't trade him. And you can't just release him. You don't have anybody, like, their roster is so, the bench is terrible. That would mean one of those guys has to come into your starting line. Like, so you can't just say, like, hey, we're just going to move on from him and be done with it. Like, they are in a terrible situation as it pertains to Russell Westbrook.
Oh, you could trade Westbrook. You're gonna have to pay a price to do it.
I don't even. But the thing is, they don't have the draft picks to do it. They've already traded all their draft picks.
They have 27 and 29 available, they got it. Them the only picks that they can use to facilitate a trade at this moment. So they got options. It's just about whether you want to pay a price down the line in the future.
They are in such a bad spot right now. I mean, you got Westbrook coming down, firing up that shot yesterday where they have the lead, like 27 seconds. He's like, he wanted a 2-for-1. Like, they got a lot of issues. That team is. And the thing is, and LeBron can't ask, like, they can't even trade LeBron. So they're like, it's not like he can ask his way out. Like, I don't know what the Lakers do. It's going to be a rough year. It's going to be a rough year for that team.
At least they're younger. That's all I
LeBron may just retire in the middle of the year. Like, I got no time.
At least most of their rosters is full of young players, unlike last year when you're just rolling out guys of yesteryear on the team.
We said to bring back Karl Malone and Gary Payton. Might as well do that with this. I don't know. Listen. I am not feeling sorry for the Lakers, that's for sure. But it is going to be a rough year for those cats, man. They are in a bad spot. Like Philadelphia, again, they've played like the best teams in the league for pretty much. So you can understand them being 0-3. Lakers, like, you watch that, you're like, I don't see how this gets better. This is not getting better. If anything, it gets worse. Because this is with Anthony Davis healthy. You know Anthony Davis is going to get hurt at some point. And once he's hurt, goodness gracious. I don't know how they could possibly win a game once Anthony Davis gets hurt. And you know it's coming. If you got Russell and... I mean, I don't think Westbrook cares either. I don't know. I just don't know what the heck is going on. But kudos to the Jazz. That is an impressive start for them to be 3-0 now on the year. I did not see that one coming. That is for sure. They didn't see that one coming. They would have never guessed they would be 3-0. Grizzlies tonight taking on the Nets down at FedEx Forum. That is a 7 o'clock game tonight down there at FedEx Forum. When we come back, speaking of weird things and guys who are maybe just getting old, kind of like LeBron and others, what the hell is going on with Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers? The NFL is bizarre. We'll talk a little NFL to wrap things up when we come back. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at triumphautosales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. In these uncertain economic times, there are so many things as a contractor and a business owner that I cannot control. The rising cost of materials, not to mention fuel and transportation costs. In the last 2 years, shingle prices have almost doubled and commercial materials have doubled. And I don't have to tell you what fuel costs these days. But you know what I can control? How much markup I put on a project. I have always prided myself in knowing I never gouge a customer. But in an effort to ensure my crews have work and my customers are being treated fairly, I have lowered my profit margin, hoping to give you a price you can live with and keeping my crews busy. So if you need a roof or gutters, please give us a call. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. Fiveash Roofing, a proud sponsor of Tiger Athletics and a member of the Tigers home team. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Sure, the name may be Sunrise, but let's not forget that Sunrise on Jefferson also serves fantastic lunches, prepared the Sunrise way, fast, fresh, and just for you. Any great restaurant lunch menu starts with a great burger, and Sunrise is no exception. Sunrise's Bacon Cheeseburger has everything you'd expect in a great burger, including a house-made special sauce and house-made pickles. Not a lot of places can boast that. If you can't make it to Sunrise for breakfast, then swing by later for a Sunrise lunch.
The new era of Thursday Night Football is only on Prime Video. Tonight, it's a matchup between MVP quarterbacks when Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens travel to Tampa Bay to take on Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. Pre-game coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern with TNF Tonight, delivered by Little Caesars. Not an Amazon Prime member? Sign up for a 30-day free trial to stream the game. It's the Ravens and the Buccaneers, only on Prime Video. See Amazon.com/watchtnf for details.
Collierville Auto Center is all about trucks and Jeeps, and the inventory is all stocked up. Been looking for that special ride? You're covered from the basics on up. Want to sell your truck or Jeep? Then bring it in and get a fair deal. The technicians at Collierville Auto Center know just about all there is to know when it comes to trucks and Jeeps. So don't be afraid to ask questions. They've probably heard them all. Every truck on the lot has been fully serviced from top to bottom and bumper to bumper, and there are warranties available. Collierville Auto Center, 651 West Poplar in Collierville, and online at colliervilleautocenter.com.
One of the things I love about betting on the NFL is that I'm always finding new players or game props that I like. And what's cool about FanDuel Sportsbook is you can combine these props with other bets from the same game to score an even bigger payout, which is perfect for tonight's Monday Night Football game, the Bears at the Patriots. I like the Pats on the money line, Justin Fields to throw a pick, Mac Jones back from an injury, I'm assuming he's starting, also to throw a pick, and Ramondre Stevenson with an anytime touchdown for the Pats. There's no feeling like nailing a same-game parlay bet, so lock in your bet today on FanDuel Sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in free bets, win or lose. Just use promo code GASMAN. That's promo code GASMAN. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or over and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you have a gambling problem, call Tennessee Redline at 1-800-889-9789.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis.
Get them to sign on the line which is dotted.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Gonna put the world away for a minute.
Welcome back. Final segment here on this Monday. Eli and Zach. Greg will be back later in the week. NFL football from yesterday. Dak was back. Cowboys got a win. He didn't do a whole lot. Zeke had a couple of touchdowns. They get a win over Detroit, 24-6. Tony Pollard, 83 yards on the ground for the former Memphis Tiger. Then you have Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers both losing again. And they lost to P.J. Walker and Taylor Heineke. The Bucs have lost 4 out of 5. They scored 3 points against the Panthers. I don't know what is going on with Buccaneers. I don't know if it's the divorce or what, but or Tom Brady just finally realized he's old. But their offense is really, really bad. And then Aaron Rodgers, the Packers, losing to the Commanders of all teams. There's some real issues. It's like both those guys got old in a hurry suddenly. And you look around the NFL, man, other than Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Joe Burrow, the quarterback play is pretty rough right now. The old guys have gotten old, or it appears as though they have. And some of these younger guys that you thought were getting better kind of seems like, I don't know if defenses are figuring it out more or what it is, but it just seems like offenses are really, really struggling right now. I mean, the unders continue to hit at a rapid pace. Like, there's every week we're getting these games where it's like pulling teeth to try and get a single touchdown.
Do you feel like the defense has caught up to the offense? Because I know for like the last couple of seasons, the offense pretty much had a leg up as far as like passing yards, touchdowns, like
I don't know.
Airing it out or just being like so dynamic. Do you feel like that defense caught up with them?
I don't know what it is. I really don't. Like, it feels like, I mean, it feels right now like It is a real struggle. I don't know if it's because of like the talent has just kind of spread out. So when you've like got these good quarterbacks, we've seen all these quarterbacks get paid a lot of money. Well, that means you lose other guys. So you don't have as much talent around you. I don't know. But I mean, Tom Brady's lost 4-5. He just scored 3 points against one of the worst teams in the league. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers can't really score. Yes, they lost Devontae Adams. Like, they won't run the ball. Like, it's just. I mean, they lost to P.J. Walker and Taylor Heineke. Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady are losing to P.J. Walker and Taylor Heineke. Of bad teams. Really bad teams. Shout out Kenneth Walker III, the Memphis native, the Arlington native. 168 yards, 2 touchdowns. Had a 74-yard touchdown to put that one away for the Seahawks. Seattle and Geno Smith are above 500. Tom Brady and the Bucs are not. Figure that one out. Patrick Mahomes, fantastic again, 423 yards, 3 touchdowns. They handled San Francisco. The Jets are 5-2.
Yeah.
The Jets are 5-2. Tom Brady's lost 4 out of 5. The Jets are 5-2. 4-0 on the road. Jets are 4-0 on the road. The Giants are 6-1. It just so, the league is so bizarre. The parity has just gotten so much. Like, it is every team. You feel like every team's going to be either between 10-7 or 7-10, other than maybe like the Bills and the Chiefs. Like, you feel like those two are good. Eagles feels like they're pretty good, but I still don't know that I even believe that. Like, I just feel like the Bills and Chiefs are really good, and then there's maybe 2 or 3 other teams that I consider pretty darn good, and then there's a group of about 20 teams who you go, yeah, they're all the same. Like, literally week to week, any one of them could beat any one of the others.
And don't forget about the Seahawks. They're number 1 in their division in the West.
Like Geno Smith, like they're above 500. Tom Brady's not, but Geno Smith is. I don't know. Like, the NFL is strange.
The Renaissance man.
Tonight, Bears at Patriots. Well, that ought to be a thriller. Thank God the Grizzlies are playing. Don't have to watch that thing.
I just need Jacoby Myers to score less than 12 points in fantasy. Thank you very much.
Ooh, that'll be close. That's going to be close. That'll be close. PPR?
No.
Okay, that helps. It's not PPR, but if PPR, say he'll get probably 4 or 5 catches at least. But, of course, then baseball, the World Series now set. It'll be Phillies and Astros. Phillies win the NLCS 4-1 after they win yesterday 4-3. Bryce Harper, the game-winning home run. Have no idea why Bob Melvin did not go to Josh Hader to face. It's Bryce Harper. Your season is on the line. You gave up a lot to get Josh Hader. I know it's the 8th inning, but it's Bryce Harper. And then the Astros have not lost a postseason game yet. They're 7-0. They sweep the Yankees. Big air by Gleyber Torres opens the door. They take advantage of it. 2 runs in the 7th after Harrison Bader had hit his 5th home run of the postseason to give the Yankees the lead. Harrison Bader, 5 postseason home runs, but the Yankees are done. Astros will open up the World Series at home against the Phillies Friday night. Phillies become the first team in Major League Baseball history to finish 3rd in their division and make the World Series, which is just weird to say. Finished 3rd in their division, but are playing in the World Series. Greg will be very happy when he gets back. Hopefully the Phillies making the World Series comforted him enough about the Alex Lomax in the starting lineup during the exhibition game. New Life Medical Center, 9160 Highway 64, 7:30 to 5, Monday through Friday. They're there treating you for whatever ails you, illness or injury. They'll get you feeling better at New Life Medical Center. Primary and urgent care. Again, 7:30 to 5, Monday through Friday. 9160 Highway 64. It's in the shops of Stonebridge. So if you are not feeling your best, if you've got an illness, if you've got an injury, go by and see them. New Life Medical Center. We will have the Bears-Patriots game tonight right here on Sports 56. Again, the Grizzlies in action down at FedEx Forum tonight as well. Up next, it is Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 as we turn things over to Dave Woloshin. Thank you to Barrett Saline. Tomorrow on the program, it'll be Connor O'Gara, Brevin Knight, Jeff Crane. We'll let you know the category for this week's 5 favorite things. We'll have Humdinger's Trivia. That all comes up tomorrow right here on Sports 56 Mornings. Thanks to Zach. Have a great day, everybody. We'll talk to you again tomorrow morning right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.